let's start this. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 227 of the KBMOD podcast. It is March 13th, 2016. And yeah, another one.
Oh, I'm leaving.
And Sham's here if you can't see. I was trying to trigger him, and success. We got Sham on the cast this week. Always a treat, Sham, to have you here and be staring at your Sham positive emote on Skype.
You could have waited at least like 5 minutes before a meme, but you decided to start off with
Sham,
one.
you know what? Listen, I sweat, I exude memes. Like they're part of me. I can't, like when I sweat, rare Pepes come out of my pores. It's just what I am. But Brad's here as well. There's a groan. So we've gotten a groan from Sham, a groan from Brad. I'm not sure what will trigger Brandon, but I'll find something. But yeah, so thanks. Katie Zen has been formally kicked off of the podcast. We'll actually get to that later, Brad. We had an email. We have a pretty interesting email question, but by popular demand,
no
he has
way
been.
We could have had him on again. After the email we received.
The email we received and the exactly. We just felt like just for the integrity of this cast, we had to do something. So anyway, he had a good run, and I'm sure he'll land on his feet. Or on a videotape or whatever at Family Video, so it should be it should be fine. And if you think any of what I just said is serious and he's actually gone, then anyway, you should probably.
I mean, he might be gone.
He could be. He could be. He's just not on this. He's not on this week, but we'll see. Hopefully, he'll return. So yeah, what's going on this week, guys? Anything exciting? Brandon, shout out to Brandon who drove 7 hours back from Jimmy Wiss's wedding, which a lot of you, probably some of you will know Jimmy Wiss and Hunt. You should know him.
Yeah, he's been around the community for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Dabbled in shoutcasting. Was a Counter-Strike shoutcaster for a while.
Him from not fixing H1Z1 fame.
That's right, exactly. I was just about to make an H1Z1 joke, and now at Twitch, working at Twitch. So. How was the wedding, Brandon? We talked about it a little bit before the cast, but
yeah, it was good. He got married down in San Diego, and so we decided to drive down because it's like a 7 or 8 hour drive, and I just thought it's a good excuse for a little road trip. So we drove down on Thursday, and we took Highway 1, which if you're not familiar with California, Highway 1 is like the coastal highway. And so
I've done that a couple times. It's great.
Yeah. I had never done it before, but it's very, very cool. Like the whole way was very, very scenic. Like just a really nice day drive. And so we did that on Thursday. Cruised down the coast and got into San Diego pretty late. But yeah, Jimmy's wedding was really good, and we partied with him a little bit last night. And then I had a long drive today in time to be here for the cast, so you're all welcome.
Yeah, I know. Basically got home in 30 minutes, had 30 minutes to unpack his dirty underwear, and then jumped on and turned on the unpack, run the laundry, and so anyway, shout out to Brandon for, I mean, we really can't have, when you come back from a 7 hour drive and you still fire up the podcast, the excuses get
and I drove the
a little
whole
harder
way
to come
too.
by.
I drove the whole way because Hillary decided to sleep the whole time. So
there you go.
So I was the good husband.
No sleep, and then the podcast.
Yeah,
I know.
We lost an hour last night. I was out late
that's
drinking.
True. There's so many factors that I would have allowed for you to just be like, I'm just too tired. But you know what? Brandon's still here.
I'm gonna pat myself on the back for this one. The odds were against me being here, but
you should give yourself even a wank as well.
We're gonna make a movie out of this.
What? Just
his journey from San Diego back to San Francisco in order to make the KBMOD podcast.
Hey, you know what? I'd watch it. All right. Well, that's good. And you said it was a smaller wedding. It was like 40-ish people.
It was a pretty small wedding, but it was at a nice little place in San Diego. It was at a winery that had like some little artisan shops and stuff. But the actual wedding was in like a wine storage barn.
It looked like some dude's barn in his backyard from one of the pictures that I saw.
Yeah, it was kind of cool because the wedding was just in the front area, and then behind you there were kind of like big storage tank looking things, and I don't know if they actually had wine in them or if they were just like maybe no
Nah, they're
longer
probably just
used.
there for show.
Maybe. I honestly
It's
don't
all
know.
a farce.
Well,
It's wine anywhere.
I don't know if maybe that's like where they used to store the wine, and now they have something a little more high tech or something. I don't know, but anyway, the ambiance is
filled
really
with
cool.
the least popular condiment in our Twitter poll, mustard. Actually, they were fine aging French's mustard in those giant wooden.
They're a winery, but they also just happen to produce gallons and gallons of mustard on the side.
It's a byproduct of being
Oh God! Wow.
You got to let the mustard ferment.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, we're glad you made it back. And again, yes, feel free. Continue to pat yourself on the back. Brad, anything exciting happened to you this week?
Just on that class grind, I got my senior capstone report turned in, so I never have to worry about that again. And then a little light gaming in there, and that was about it. So.
Okay,
that's all that was exciting.
I was gonna when you said that class grind, and I said yes, but I don't know. I haven't been on the class grind in a long time.
When you first said that, I was actually thinking like you've been grinding out an MMO. It was like the class grind. You re-rolled and you're doing a new class.
No, I wish I had that time.
Yeah, I didn't have anything super exciting of note happen to me this week. I mean, I survived another week, so that's. I mean, I guess that's, as Pitbull says. Any day above the ground is a good day in his hit radio song. The one with Neo. Oh, man. I can't think of it. I'll find the exact line.
His hit radio song, man. Pitbull's really struggling right now. I would love to get advice from Pitbull about how to keep your head up when times
He does.
down.
Pitbull gets a lot of shit, but he's got in between his rapping about trying to get some pussy. He throws in
his party songs.
His party songs, yeah. He throws in some pretty good,
some real insight, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's something about like any day above ground is a good one or something like that. It's like, yeah, you know what?
Draw your inspiration
it's really
somewhere.
deep.
I was like, Pitbull, you know what? For just a little throwaway radio hit, that really changed my life. That really made me go.
Yeah, is Pitbull one of those guys that like he gets featured on someone else's song, and that's when he really starts to write some lyrics. Is when he's going to drop on someone else's track. Not for
yeah, I'm trying to. Oh man,
I imagine you as the same type of person who like shares inspirational Facebook pictures.
Yes,
of, like just words overlaid on a sunset or something.
Exactly. Yeah, he definitely seems to kind of be. Yeah, I said it right. It's anyway. I just googled the quote. Any day above ground is a good day. So anyway,
that's the whole quote.
And there's literally images of that quote on his. On his face.
Of course there are.
Here it is.
Yeah, that's very fucking glass completely full all the time. Because every day above ground is
that's
not
actually
a good day.
If you really examine that,
Sorry.
it's definitely not true for a lot of people. Oh my God, the image I just found. Again, just another reason you should watch this live because I'm putting this into the chat, and this is exactly the line from the song. So I'll put that into the chat. But other than that, listening to a little bit of Pitbull on the radio, nothing crazy happened to me. Anything crazy to you, Sham?
No, I didn't do shit this past week. No. Like other than just being home and editing and doing a couple of streams. But I didn't have the greatest week for my like mental game. I just had. I don't want to call it depression because I'm not like. Diagnosed with depression, but just having bad days where I don't feel motivated to do anything.
I know the feel, man. Yeah.
I've been editing the past couple of days pretty much all day, feeling good about it. So trying to stay a little productive. That's about it. I haven't played too many games, just some Counter-Strike with you, still a little Super Hot here and there, some Stardew Valley. Just picked up a couple of things and
how is Super Hot, by the way?
Oh, Super Hot's incredible. I'll talk about it whenever we like get to the actual.
You know what? Go ahead. Games. You know what? You're talking about games.
Fine, sure.
We're good. Go for it.
So for me, like Super Hot is just absolute satisfaction. It's perfect. Just once you figure out all of the little tricks that you can do in order to get further into levels and avoid getting hit, like when you're playing the endless challenges, like. Tossing your weapon out, then hot switching to another enemy, and then catching that weapon that you threw. Because when you hot switch, which is where you change your character to another character in order to avoid death, you lose the weapon that's on that guy that you're hot switching to. But if you toss a weapon up in the air towards him, then when you hot switch, you can catch it out and just blast some dude's head off as soon as you grab it in your hands. It's just really, it's so good. It's like it's just a fucking beautiful like John Woo film type of thing. and I've been messing around getting all the speed run times for the speed run challenge mode that they have, and I've been routing and trying to get together a full run for doing speed runs because it's a pretty short game, and I really like playing it. The speed runs a little bit over 20 minutes long, so I've been trying to route a little bit of that and get to where I can speed run it myself, but I haven't done it yet. I've just been going to a level here and there and just trying to figure out where all the spawns are and what's the most optimal way to fight people. And there's some variances here and there. It's kind of weird. The game has some, I don't want to call them bugs, but there's just some instances where guns that you pick up have less shots in them than they did on previous runs with no different variables other than the fact that the amount of shots that you have changed, and I don't know why it does that, and it's kind of frustrating at times, but it's pretty negligible for most things. But watching some people like get the fastest or in-game time, because you can do speedrun challenges where it only counts game time, so like whenever the time is slowed down, the ticker is slowed down, so people like really min-max the fuck out of this thing, and cool. Just watching people's runs, because you have the whole social media aspect of the Killstagram thing where you can upload your replays. Yeah. So it's a lot easier for people to share speedrun times and stuff like that. And just watching how people figured out how to use things like the Goomba Stomp, which a lot of people don't even know exists, is that you can jump on enemies and kill them if you step on them right, and using that to your advantage. And things like the assault rifle spray, where it's got 4 shots, and like lining them up to where you kill 3 or 4 enemies with 1 spray in order to max out the time. It's just super satisfying to get that down. So I've been having a great time with that game. Let's see. I played a little bit of the culling. Not very good at it. Really bad at that game. There's a lot more for me to learn with the combat, and I haven't even gotten to the point where I've gotten a gun in that game. It's been that rare for me that I haven't even been shot by a gun. But every time I look at Twitch, I always see people that are carrying around rifles and shooting at people and chainsaws, and I haven't seen a single one of those. And I've got like almost 10 hours played in the game.
Sham, speaking of that game, I was watching this afternoon. I was watching Shroud play the Calling dude, and he is insane at it. I mean, just because of his raw aim. But so like with the bow and stuff, but he's doing stuff like you can throw items at people and it does damage to them as well. So like he's like finishing people off long range.
Yeah,
like literally
you do a lot.
with 1
Yeah,
HP,
it does full damage. Yeah,
he's like hurling like a log, like something at somebody where killing them. And anyway, he had a really good run. It was really like watching that actually played by somebody, and he looks like he's pretty good at it overall too, as far as like strategy and crafting and like picking stuff up. But it made me go like, I mean, he made it look. I'm not a huge fan of those style of games, but it made me, and I don't know, it looks simple enough where it's like,
I have to say, like the one thing that it's got going for it is that it's such a narrow focus on a smaller map and less players and really intensely focused PvP. And there's no fluff outside of that. So
exactly.
they've got the right mindset as to what they're going for. It is very early. There's a lot of placeholder shit. There's parts of the map that don't even have like the right textures on them. They're just checker patterns, like in tunnels and whatnot. But in the performance is, leaving something to be fucking desired. It drops sub 60 all the time. But other than that, it's got a lot going for it, and the fights feel really intense, especially when you start to get your timing down for blocking and pushing people who are blocking you, and you understand the synergy between certain items and being able to learn where everything is on the map to go for random drops and the pinata drop, like the different variances and like bringing drops over to the middle of the map that people have to fight over. It's just a nice factor to it. And I've very much enjoyed all of the combat that I've gotten involved in, as bad as I am at it. And I've got a lot to learn when it comes to timing and using throwing and backstabs. And I haven't even used a trap like one time. And traps are very powerful for snaring people so you can get free hits. Haven't done it myself. I never think that I'm going to be in the right position to set up a good trap in order to catch somebody. So I don't even waste bag space on it. I'm like, just give me the toughest melee weapon and like armor, and I'll just swing at someone. That's all I can manage right now. But it's very fun. I mean, I would wait if you're not someone who can deal with
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I
early
just
access part
trying
of
to
it.
decide when to try it. But
Yeah.
from watching it, I definitely I'm like, okay,
It's
this
got a
actually
large
looks a lot
population.
of fun.
It's you're not going to be waiting for games. It's got a lot of people playing it. So if you don't mind that it's early access and the performance is pretty low, I wouldn't go into it without a half decent enough PC, because I even run it on medium settings and I drop below 60 frames. So it's a little wonky, but they are working on it.
Yeah, and then they had. Did they have the where you could team up or whatever mode right off the bat? Or was that patched
the
in?
team mode. The team mode is the same amount of players, 16, and it's teams of 2. So that's the max that it goes to, which is perfectly fine. Like, it doesn't need to go over that. I was playing with Adam, and it was incredible fun to work together to try to take down targets and like split them up from each other and backstab a guy while you've got their focus on someone else. It's really good.
I feel like just from watching the culling, I think what makes it really different, or like a different kind of like, I don't know, like you have a, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that like because of the pace and the culling, like it's so much quicker than like H1Z1 or DayZ or something like that. Or whatever BR mod you play, Arma 3. I feel like that's what makes the game, where like it's so much more. You have to be quick, even your movement and everything.
And that's right. Exactly what you're saying is the reason that it actually appealed to me, because I watched a couple people play it, but obviously watching Shroud play it is really not fair, because honestly he was like, some of the shit he was doing, like people in chat were just like, he's a highlight machine. Like, he was doing insane. He's making it look so easy, Sham, and I know like it's not easy. Like, he was hitting every bow shot at range. Like, and then he has crazy good movement in Counter-Strike, and to see that actually translate over into the culling. And like you said, the fast pace, and like if you have really good aim, you're going to be rewarded for it. And like you said, like the pace of those other survival games in general, like feels a lot slower. It feels more, I guess, rewarding for like having that kind of. Not that you don't get rewarded in other games for that, but it seems like in this game you definitely do.
Yeah, at the basis that they have right now, they've done a good job of fostering like people finding people to hurt and putting things around the map, like the random drops, the poison traps that you set off, and you're rewarded for setting them off. You get currency for it that goes towards you getting like opening boxes and getting your airdrops and whatnot. You're encouraged to turn on poison gas and try to get people to move around the map. And the map's not very large in and of itself, relative to other games in that genre. So it's very easy to run into people constantly. Sometimes you'll get lucky. Well, I say lucky, but it's not really lucky. You get some time to build up your crafting and get a backpack, maybe make some bandages, but it's really boring if you're not fighting someone. You're just, hitting some trees and rocks to get your crafting materials, and it's kind of blah if you don't actively go to buildings to get stuff inside of lockers and use the recycling machine so you can get your currency from stuff that you don't necessarily need. The game is just built to encourage you to get into those fights, which is really nice. It's a very busy game for how empty it can sometimes be if you avoid it. And I don't know, I just like that. Most games, it doesn't take me more than 5 to 10 minutes to start like really getting into some combat and possibly dying. And once you get to the end, it's really intense to be. Once the poison gas comes in, after a certain amount of time goes on, there's 2 phases of closure of the map. And once the second one comes in, the gas comes all the way into the middle, and it completely consumes the arena. So eventually you're going to die from the gas if you don't kill each other. And I had one game with Adam where the gas came all the way in, and he was like stuck up on top of the arena while I was on the floor, and I couldn't help him because to get up there, I would have had to gone into the gas to go up a ramp and then get up to the top of the arena, and I couldn't survive it. So I just watched him die.
Watch him suffocate
because I had no ranged weapons. It was really sad, but I like that. I like that moment a lot.
Okay. Well, you also you played a little bit. I don't know if that was this week or last week, but you your friend Jason.
Jason Welch's game.
Jason, and you did a video on it, which again I will just.
He had it on Itch.io.
You need to watch it,
but I didn't buy it there. Yeah. I figured I would wait for it to come on Steam because he really does sweeping updates to his games for some reason, and once you play it when it first comes out, it's like a couple of weeks to a month later, he'll go in and he'll change major parts of the game. Like when I played the Sacred Stone, not even like a day after I played the Sacred Stone and uploaded that video, he had put in an inventory system with potions and food and all kinds of shit and like weapon pickups and like change the bosses and I was like, what? You just completely changed the game from what I played. I almost need to go back and do it again, but I usually stop myself from doing that because I know it's just.
And for people for people who aren't aware of who Jason Welsh is, he has made I don't even know if you can what games to point to. Time
Ramicide, Sacred Stone, X17.
Just notoriously some of the worst shit you will ever.
Yeah, an asset
experience.
peddler, if you will.
Yes,
but he uses Unreal while most people use Unity.
That's right.
He uses the Unreal Engine 4 and uses a lot of default assets from there. And then there is Adobe has a site called Mixamo where they have animation stuff.
That's right,
and models, and he gets a lot from there too for the animations on that website.
So basically,
animate himself.
Sham has the market cornered on playing his because Sham really you pretty much play everything.
I try to beat them. Yeah,
exactly.
I sit there and go. Luckily with X17, he put in a continue feature where you could go in and start any level that you wanted, and I don't know if he meant to do that. Maybe he did. But that's the first time he's done it in a game. So I just used that whenever I got stuck because there were so many bugs that stopped me from progressing in the game. Like there was one part in that subway where the enemies spawned in, but they were all facing a wall and stuck in a running animation, but not shooting at me. And they couldn't die either. They were just there and I couldn't beat the level. So I just skipped ahead. I was like, I'm not fucking wasting my time, Jason. I'm getting through. I just want to see your story. And then... let's see, there was another one. Oh yeah, an elevator that was up and then I died. And then when I respawned, I went back to the elevator and it hadn't reset. So I couldn't go back up to where I was and I had died previously. So I just went ahead. But he hadn't finished the game. When I got to the end of it, I went to the last level and there was no sign of an end or any progression. So I just figured that he hadn't gone past that level yet. Sadly, I hoped that there was an end because he put fucking cutscenes all over this game.
Yeah, that was the real.
He's actually putting voice acting that he did himself along with other people. He played like 3 characters in that game after I went back and looked at the footage and listened to the voices. He played the female alien leader. He played...
Yes, Jim.
At first I didn't realize until I noticed that was definitely his accent, like on the woman, just pitch shifted a little bit with some weird effects on it. I was blown away that he played the female naked alien leader. It's just so good. But he's embracing it now. He's like, he posted my video on his Facebook. I think he's trying to not give a fuck, but
he's trying to become the meme, man. And you know what?
It's not helping though.
No.
He's still like that game is $15, I think, on Steam. It's like, come on, man. You can't do this anymore. And then he put unlicensed music into it 4 times.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson's Thriller, the twist, and then the chicken dance 2 times. 2 times.
Yeah, the chicken dance. That's right. Oh man!
So,
that video again. I'm just gonna.
I don't know if it's been reported yet to where he would have changed it. Maybe not. But like, it shouldn't be on Steam because there's no way he licensed fucking Thriller. There's absolutely no way.
Yeah,
but it's still there. It's still purchasable. So I guess people haven't reported it or something. I wasn't gonna do it myself because I'm just like, just let sleeping dogs lie, man. I've already heard him enough. I'm not gonna go.
Exactly. Yeah,
we don't need to go. Game.
But again, it's the title of the video on Sham. Just go to his channel, but it's X17. The video game returns, and that thumbnail with the eyes that you did with that was fantastic.
Oh yeah, just puppet warping him. Yeah.
Yeah, just puppet warp him a bit. But yeah, fucking check it out. It's hilarious. It's 30 minutes, but you just the whole time you're just going, this is incredible. Especially if you haven't seen one of his games before. This is a great one probably to start with. Would you say, Sham? You talked about the beginning of the video, but it's his magnum.
Oh yeah, it is his best game so far. It's the most well put together game that he's done, but that's not saying anything. He's improving in some respects.
Yeah, exactly.
Not $15 worth though.
All right, anything else, Sham? Or
oh no, that's it for me.
That's the main. Okay. What about you, Brad? What did you play this week?
I stopped playing Rust finally, and then
was there something that made you
said
stop?
Like an addict?
Because it sounds like it was a bad thing for you, and you finally broke it and got away from Rust.
We just had our, I don't know what you would want to call it, like our base just like ruined by a hacker. So,
So
Yeah,
it basically killed all the motivation, all the work you did. It's just kind
that, and then I got finals next week, so it was not a healthy relationship. And then I played a little Rocket League on the TV. Somebody gave me a bunch of computer parts in exchange for beer. So
that sounds like a good deal.
That's it. Yeah.
it was
That's
a
the bartering system at work.
It was an AMD processor, AMD graphics card, motherboard, and RAM for a case of beer.
How old is this PC?
Yeah. How old is the hardware?
It's a 6-core like AMD FX processor. So
okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
He built it last year.
Wow, for a case of beer. That's
how
like a
fired up is
phenomenal
this
deal.
alcoholic for some beverages?
I think he was a thirsty sophomore. I think I'll just.
I think he's definitely going to regret that. That the night the party ended and the case of beer was gone, he's like, I just gave away a computer that could actually run a decent amount of games. Yeah, that's Brad. I think you might have gotten
addict style.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I kind of felt bad, but then at the same time,
How much money worth of beer did you give him?
Yeah, like what was the
6-pack?
That's all.
What?
What? I thought it was a case.
No.
I thought it would be like 2 cases.
Yeah.
No,
You took this guy for a ride.
Wow.
No, that's all he asked for. He was gonna give it to me, but then he was like, "Wait, can you give me like a 6-pack of beer?" I was like, "Sure."
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's insane. So
With his life, he's
yeah.
gonna
So
realize,
so are you going to use it for like a stream PC or something? Is that what you're saying? Or, or no, you're gonna use
Right
it
now
for?
it's just set up in my living room. I have Windows 10 on it, a controller and a wireless keyboard. It's just set up for playing games on TV, I guess.
6
just
pack.
pour a Pabst Blue Ribbon over it.
Yeah, you know what?
Drown
Pour one
the
out for your
Pabst Blue
homie because he got wrecked, dude. He's sleeping with the fishes, man. That's Well, I mean, I guess you're saying if he was going to give it to you for free anyway. I guess we didn't have that.
Yeah, he was like, I don't need this stuff. He was posted on Facebook and like one of my university groups. Like, I don't need this stuff. You know, whoever wants it can have it. So I just like, hey man, I'll take it. I don't care. And
took advantage of that guy.
he was putting it out
I mean,
there.
I can understand that. Like, yeah, just wanting to get rid of stuff rather than trying to set up to have someone buy it. It's just, it's so much easier to give something away for free and just get the fucking hassle off of you, and instead of like bartering with someone over how much of fucking processor costs.
Craigslist anymore.
Yeah, no,
like,
thank you.
Every time I post something on there, it's like some dude either wants to trade me his gun or like I don't know, or like undersell me like quite a bit. So it's almost not worth it anymore. So
yeah, or then like, hey, I can come Sunday at this, and then they never show up, or then they cancel last minute over and over again. Yeah, Craigslist is such a hassle.
The reason for that, Brad, though, is because you on all of your listings you're putting interesting trades considered. That's why.
No, that's the other thing. I always say cash only, meet in a public place, and I still get emails like, "Hey man, I got this sweet gun." Like, no, I never asked for this. Like,
gun, like of all the things. God, that's
I don't
pretty
know.
good. Jeez. Okay. So you stopped playing Rust. Did you play anything else?
Yeah, so I tried Rocket League on there. I haven't tried the new update, but I've heard they've got some big things coming too.
Yeah, I don't think we put it in the news, but they have basketball mode coming.
Mm-hmm.
That looks pretty sweet.
So fucking cool looking.
But that was it. I just played a little Rocket League, test that out, and then that was about it.
Okay. What about you, Brandon? Did you get to play anything this week?
Yeah. So I didn't talk about Super Hot last week, did I?
Yeah,
No,
a little.
Maybe a lit. Yeah.
Okay. You haven't played it yet, I think.
Okay, yeah. So I couldn't remember which day I'd played it, but I basically played through all of it in one sitting because it's not that long, or like the actual, story narrative part is not that long. But I agree with Sham. Like I think that game is so good for what it is. Like that game started out as just a little like browser game, like basically a proof of concept. And
it was a game jam thing, right? Like a 7-day game jam idea or something.
Yeah, it was just like I mean the fact that it started out as just like kind of just literally like a level, like a flash game level, and it turned into what I think is like a really cool narrative. I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it because I feel like it would be easy to spoil kind of what the game is, but it's very self-aware. And like the story ended up being more engaging than I expected for a game that is like what kind of you look at the game and it's like, well, how does this game have a story? It's just like you shooting
Yeah.
red guys. It's more.
The
about
thing that I liked about it was that it was so short. The story was basically there in order to carry the introduction of new mechanics as you went along.
Yeah.
It didn't overstay its welcome. Like this, you know, it took me an hour and a half to beat the story mode. It was not long at all for me. Some people, it's around an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how quickly you go through.
Yeah,
But,
I think I was like maybe 2.5 or 3 hours, and I was like really taking my time.
yeah, it really just, it serves what it needs to do very well, and it's like the perfect example of doing a Kickstarter, having your goals in mind from the outset, and fucking executing the shit out of it. Like they completely destroyed it. Just so well done, and I can't just be happy enough for them that they just took that idea and got so much out of it that they did, and then were able to put in like the replay editor. I didn't even think they were going to be able to do that, but then their Kickstarter came through and they were able to get to that stretch goal. And it's such a nice feature to have, to be able to look back through your best times that way. It's just little things like that, and it's definitely like meant for score attack. I think a lot of people get the wrong assumption that it's supposed to be like a story-based thing. That's really just like flavor. That's icing on the cake, because it's definitely for people who are into score attack type games, because that's where most of your time's going to go into.
Yeah, the story, like the main story is really just there for you to kind of get your feet wet, and like by the end of the game you very clearly understand all the mechanics. But the game is not like, I did not think the game was difficult at all. I think the difficulty comes with once you finish the game, like speed running and doing the endless challenges and stuff. Like I felt like the story is kind of just setting you up for the endless pieces of the game, which is basically just like, you know, like Shan was talking about, kind of min-maxing the challenges or the speed running the levels. Like there's so much you can do once you finish the game itself that its replayability is like nearly infinite.
Like I've got 16 hours in the game when the story took me an hour and a half. So I've put in so much more time into it after the story, and like the story is just essentially holding your hand in order to introduce you into the mechanics and then get you into the challenges where the real meat is. And there's so many to do, like the endless stuff. They've got plenty of levels for endless. You have the basic for just killing as many as you can, killing as many in 60 seconds, killing like 20 enemies and trying to do it as fast as possible. Just different variations on the endless challenge, and then bare hand mode, katana mode, all kinds of stuff that is there for you to test out. And it's really interesting for anyone who's into that kind of thing. It's just super fun. I would absolutely recommend it, even at the $25 price point. Like I find it a little high in a sense. Like I would say 15 to 20 would be a better price point for it, but $25 isn't too much to ask for me, like considering how many hours I've gotten out of it. If you're into a score attack sort of game like that, I would absolutely do it.
Yeah, I think I kickstarted it, I think at $15, and it's like very easily worth $15. It's like maybe I think 25 for the quality of the game I think is reasonable. But like I just played through the story mode, and I already think I've gotten my money's worth. And like I haven't even gotten to the challenges yet, but just I enjoyed the game, you know, for those 2-3 hours, and that's, you know, I haven't even really gotten to the meat like you were saying. So I'm impressed with what that game is, and like how comprehensively they delivered on their Kickstarter. Like I think that's one of the best examples of like Kickstarter working well, because I'm pretty sure I have like 40 updates in my inbox. Not only were they like really communicative with their backers, but then the game comes out, like it's not brutally broken in any specific way. Like, you know, there are a few bugs here and there, but like nothing that really alters your enjoyment of the game. And they gave all the backers a DRM free version too. Like I have a DRM free key for the game.
Oh, that's
as well.
nice.
That's cool.
So like I'm just so thoroughly impressed with that team and like the game they put out and just the way they went about it. I'm just super happy that game ended up being what everyone I think hoped it would be, you know, a couple years ago when they saw the little Flash game.
Yeah, they didn't get in over their heads, and they did exactly what they wanted to do. And like the 2-year period that they went through the Kickstarter and then developed that game, like them executing on it is what makes me think that it's worth that money, just because they did such a good job with what they set out to do in the first place, and they didn't disappoint anyone. It's like, yes, I will give you my money just based on fucking principle at this point. It was like the same thing for me with Stardew Valley. I didn't even know about the game because I never played Harvest Moon. I was too young for that. I never played any games like Harvest Moon up until hearing about Stardew Valley as it came out. I wasn't following its development. I'm like, that one guy made this over 4 years. I'm gonna throw him $15 just for the fucking effort. I don't even care if I like the game or not. I just want to give the guy money for doing such a good job with what he wanted to do. I just pat him on the back and say, "Here you go."
Yeah, well, I mean,
nice
reward the people that should be rewarded, and then make videos about the games that shouldn't be as much, Sham.
Exactly.
You know, like, X13. But yeah, all right. Well, that's good. Did you play anything else besides that? Super Hot, Brandon?
No, just Super Hot, and then I had to cruise down to San Diego, so I haven't really played anything else.
Okay, yeah, and I pretty much just played Counter-Strike this week. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but nope, just lots and lots of CS. But I don't know, mentally like turned a corner on that game lately. I don't know, like my play has been so much better. Again, this is just in the context of what I play. I'm not like playing on a team or anything like that. But I took like a break. I was like in a real slump with that game, and I was off for like a week. That was actually when I was away for Extra Life United. Anyway, when I came back, and I just am in a different. I don't know. Sham played with me a bit. I don't know. Maybe Sham can attest. But
we won a lot of fucking games.
We won a lot, dude. We were like, we've been feeling it. So anyway, it feels good. But we'll see. I'm sure that now that I've talked about it, that'll go away. And next week I'll play terrible. So I probably shouldn't jinx it. But anyway, having fun with that still. And you know, the real key is I'm not opening cases really much anymore. So, and I'm just
really. When's
game.
the last time you opened a case?
Well, I say see, our version is Sham. I'll get an occasional case drop. I might open like 1 or 2 cases like a week. That's like for me. That's pretty
not
limited.
bad. I mean, I've opened a Wildfire case and like a Chroma case since you know, the past couple of weeks. I'll open one once in a while just because I feel like it, and I'm like, I've got the extra money in my wallet. I'm not going to use it on anything else.
Yeah, but not like opening like 20 cases at a time. Yeah, no.
That day is.
I don't care. I don't care enough anymore. And yeah, it's just I was always like, man, I'm never gonna be the person just gonna buy skins. But if I want one, I will just buy it at this point. There's really no. But again, until I know, Sham, you haven't opened a knife or anything yet, but when you do, the feeling, it's, you know, it's just like gambling. It's just like hitting the jackpot. So
I think the most expensive thing I've ever opened was a Stat Track Galil skin, and it sold for like $7 or $8. Okay. That's nothing.
Yeah.
All of the money that I have spent on cases is not worth it for only getting to that point. I've opened jack shit in cases.
Yeah. But even though Sham and I are opening as many cases, a lot of people are, and so you know, Counter-Strike's doing just fine. I think that $1 million major.
No, you stopping the case openings has really put a dent in Valve's fucking wallet.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping they don't write me an official letter. I love to support indie companies like Valve by opening cases. So, you know, hopefully they'll still like me. I still try to support them. But all right, so that's what we've been playing. What we've been doing this week. Let's jump into some tidbits news-wise, and there's a couple things we want to talk about. This first thing we're going to talk about is AMD's X-Connect technology. And Brad, you were talking about this with me a little bit before the cast. But do you want to get into this a bit?
Yeah, I think I don't remember if it was the last cast or the cast before, but we talked about Razer's new laptop and the like external dock where you could plug something in. Well, to use like a dedicated GPU that you would normally have in a full desktop, but in your laptop. So what they've done, the AMD's revealed that this is being called X-Connect. And so you'll be able to, you know, buy a chassis, put in your own graphics card, and then hook up like an Ultrabook to it. And I feel like this is going to be a big changer. Now I know there are some people that just will, no matter what, love a desktop solution to everything, and maybe, you know, the whole shebang. But I think for a lot of people, like LAN enthusiasts and stuff like that, or just people that want one solution instead of a bunch of different devices, like this is going to be the next go-to for like PC gaming. And I thought it was worth mentioning. I don't know what you guys thought about it. Like, do you think if it becomes I don't know. How many of you guys even have like a laptop? Like outside of,
Yeah, I don't. I've never owned a
Yeah.
laptop myself.
I recently just bought. I recently just bought one, but not really for gaming. Like if so with this solution, if I got like an external bay and whatever and did this, I definitely could game at least with the processor on the current laptop that I have. But yeah, for me, like I don't really, I like traveling. I'm not really worried about the gaming side. I mean, I don't travel as much as I used to, and if I'm going to game, I'm just going to game on. I've got a stream PC and I've got a desktop PC, so that's pretty powerful. So. I don't know. Like I would personally, for me, I'm like I avoid gaming on my laptop at all costs. And any kind of gaming that I would tend to do, unless it was like more casual. Like I don't think I would ever, unless I was forced to. I mean, and I guess if you have a laptop that has a decent processor and you're like, but obviously it doesn't have as powerful of a video card. This would make sense for a solution as far as saving money. But even then, I don't know. Hardware's so cheap to build a desktop. That's the thing. Is it even worth it?
This feels so like I'm sure this stuff is going to be weird. Like kind of expensive. I don't think they've announced any prices for like the chassis.
No,
but I wouldn't be surprised if this chassis that holds the card is like $200 or something. Like that doesn't seem unreasonable. But I also just don't. As cool as I think the idea is, like when we've talked about it before, I think it's a neat idea. But I just don't know who is actually going to buy this. Like I think this feels so niche. This feels like a solution in search of a problem.
I mean, when you look at the promo images, like in the article on Antec, the chassis themselves look flashy as fuck for just holding a card.
No, they look flashy and they look like the size of like a mini ATX.
They do.
That's what I mean.
It's
like
it's huge.
It looks like it's not. I mean, because video cards are not small. Like a video card is one of the largest things that would fit into like a small micro ATX case.
It's true.
The chassis is like, how are you going to carry that thing around? You're going to have to have a suitcase just to put the chassis and the card in. So like how is this a better solution than like if you were say a LAN enthusiast, like get a little micro ATX case that has a handle and just like you can bring that as a carry-on on an airplane.
It's not that, it's all the rest of the peripherals. Like for me,
I guess, but like
that makes sense to me. It's like
just
the
seems
keyboard and the monitor
if
together.
If you're a LAN enthusiast, are you really gonna like take a laptop, like a thin laptop, and then a big desktop graphics card? Like no, if you do LANs all the time, you want an actual like good box.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Is like even a thin laptop, this only solves the graphics card part. Like. With a game like Battlefield, for instance, the CPU is a big piece of your performance in that game. You think that the little thin laptop chips are going to run well in a game like Battlefield? The answer is no.
I don't know. We'll see. I think there's potential in the way that laptops are catching up. I think like they're not there, but I think they will be there. And I think for me, where Oregon State has so many LANs here. Like, there's one at least every month.
Yeah, but you have a brand new computer this dude just gave you.
Well,
that's true. For a case of
I still have to pack it around. That's the problem. So, like, you have to do keyboard, monitor.
Well, let's make this personal then. Okay, so you're saying for yourself, right? You just as far as convenience for not having to pack all your shit together. You have do you have a laptop, CPU wise, that's powerful enough with an external graphics card to run whatever you want? Right now,
that's the thing. So like right now, I do everything literally remotely because like so I have just like a shitty Chromebook, and then for like my classes and stuff, and then I remote into my desktop at home. Where it'd be nice if for all the programs and things like that. And that's a trend here at Oregon State where people will invest their money into a desktop and then like go as cheap as possible for a laptop just to take notes or something. Where I'm thinking like as a student, it'd be nice if I could just dock my laptop, have one solution, all my homework and everything else there. Although I do most of it in the cloud nowadays, but like, and just have the full horsepower of, a graphics card there, and then like be able to just undock it, take it with me and go to class. And then same goes for a LAN party where I already have a backpack where I can stuff my laptop in. I just now need just the graphics card enclosure and a mouse. So, I mean, where got to pack this monitor, and it gets really crazy too when you're trying to like carpool to some LAN parties. So like if you go to PDX LAN or something, and there's like 4 of you, you gotta like shove monitors in between people's legs and stuff like that. Like it gets to be such a pain in the ass, and I see this as like a solution to that as well. So
Okay. So
I mean, it does
so
kind of
you
cut down
Yeah.
with the monitor and the keyboard being attached. It does cut down on like the setup time and the space that you're using in order to have kind of
Right.
like a LAN setup in that respect. So I can understand. I just don't have a laptop myself, and I don't see myself getting one anytime soon because I
Right.
don't travel.
So-
I have no use for one.
Yeah, my uses are very specific. They're in a very
Yeah,
very
yeah,
out there
exactly.
that aren't. Now, I do see it for students. I do think that's a big thing, because the money they spend on a laptop, like a cheap laptop and a desktop, could buy you a really nice setup like this. But other than that, like that's a really specific use case. So
Yeah, I can see some really fringe uses for it. Like yours is one specific case, like student who goes to LANs and wants to like save
In
some
Oregon.
space.
Yeah.
But it seems.
But yeah.
I just can't, like, if I'm AMD, I can't see how this is like the
Well,
direction their product goes.
that's the problem too. Is like you're not going to be, if you're looking to game, you're not going to be buying an AMD product. Like the only thing worthwhile here in AMD's lineup is now like this quote unquote technology of just using Thunderbolt to connect your graphics card to your like laptop. Like I would still like, I don't think that's going to make AMD nearly any money because we already saw the flashy cases for graphics cards and stuff by other like manufacturers. So I don't see what AMD is really getting out of this, but
It just seems like such a weird direction to take. Like, I feel like AMD, they make like specific plays. Like either they're the value play where like their cards cost less, even though they
more
don't-
bang for your buck,
right,
right?
more bang for your buck. Or they make like the mobile play where they try and do mobile graphics better than Nvidia or Intel. But this, like, I don't see what the goal is here. Like, they can't seriously think they're going to sell many of these like card enclosures because you're aiming for like a niche of a niche. You're aiming for PC gamers who only have a thin laptop and want to take the thin laptop only around and be able to game on it in a more hardcore fashion. Like, I just don't
understand
think
how
there
these
are
things
hardly
get
any of
made.
those people.
Yeah, it's like they had to like focus group something and figure out how many people they could possibly market it to, and how many people did their research lead them to believe they could market it to, because I can't imagine it being that many people.
The other thing too is if I think about this in terms of like let's say a student or someone who's kind of on a budget when they're gaming. Okay, if you're already if you're a hardcore gamer, literally on this graphic here, it says thin laptop meets hardcore gamer. Okay, if you're a hardcore gamer, you probably already own a gaming desktop. Otherwise, you wouldn't be a hardcore gamer. So what they're saying is that you're gonna the proposition here is they want you to buy the chassis, and then you either have to buy a second graphics card, or you have to take your graphics card out of your PC, your desktop PC, whenever you want to travel around with just your laptop, which seems like just as much of a hassle as hauling around your entire PC.
I dread ever having to open up my fucking computer case.
The same way.
I hate thinking about it. I don't want to
even
see
wanna
the
deal
inside
with
of
it.
that thing once I've built it.
Because that
I
means
don't
if you're seeing the
care
inside
anymore.
of that thing, other than cleaning it or spraying it
Yeah.
out, like there's a problem. And I'm the same way, Shane.
Like, I want to be optimistic about this because I think the idea is neat, but I just don't, like, the business side of me just can't get on board with, like, actually making this and thinking you're going to make money on it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know what AMD really plays.
Well, maybe
here,
it's that, but maybe the play isn't that they think they're even going to make that much money off of it. Maybe they just want to. Maybe it's just literally like not necessarily a shot in the dark, but they're like, okay, let's try this, and if it doesn't work out,
Yeah, it's like I like the
our
idea
bottom
of
line's
pushing
not going to be that
Thunderbolt
affected.
and finding out what they can do with Thunderbolt, but this seems like the wrong way to go about it.
Yeah,
right.
But I don't know.
Now, I will acknowledge chat here. I think somebody mentioned something about Phil from Xbox saying he wants to make like consoles upgradable, which we know that AMD is running both on PlayStation and Xbox. So, I mean,
you think this is
well,
just
the
paving?
Xbox One doesn't have fucking Thunderbolt, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I mean, if we look back at like the PlayStation, for instance, like I don't know how many iterations they went through to just get like standard upgrades, like or different cooling options or something where maybe they're actually looking at making modular consoles where it's just going to be, unplug and plug in a new graphics unit and call it good. But then again, I don't know why they need to go. Well, I guess never mind. I just answered my own question. Where they need to go through AMD, but then I was thinking, wait, they're in the console, so they would have to go through AMD.
Well, they're pairing up with Razer for this, so it's like an AMD / Razer / whoever owns Thunderbolt, like collaboration. I guess it's an Intel thing. They don't have the Intel graphic here on this collaboration slide, but like the Razer imagery has a picture of a Razer blade and it says "Ready for the office," and then the enclosure that says "Ready for the game." And it's like, I just don't believe that there are these people out there that are like, 100%. This is what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting to be a hardcore gamer, but I couldn't because I only had a thin laptop.
Loves to pound pussy in Microsoft Word, like when I'm at work. But to know that this same machine that I just crafted this beautifully written email in Outlook can also run, fucking Battlefield 4 on high settings with my Thunderbolt. Yeah, like you're totally right.
I type my reports at 180 words per minute, and then also I fucking slay dudes in Counter-Strike Global Offensive I connect to my AMD
the other problem
Thunderbolt.
I have with this marketing image is that it just has a laptop and the chassis, which like gives off the impression that you're ready for gaming without a mouse. Like you're gonna game on a trackpad.
Yeah, there's no mouse in this picture.
If you want to speak to me, at least speak to me in like a realistic way. No one is going to literally just be able to carry around these two things and be ready to game. Like you would need a mouse, and Razer makes mice. Like you can promo the Mamba, promo the Death Adder, but like it feels like business people put this presentation together and are like, yeah, the gamers are gonna go for this. Yeah, this is perfect.
You know what? Maybe this is just a social experiment or a prank. Maybe this is an Ethan Bradbury at AMD social experiment. Who knows? Like maybe we're being tested, and there's see how much traction.
I get this triggered, but I actually really don't like.
Yeah, I can tell you're pretty triggered right now.
I hate you, Scott.
It's not the first time though that like Razer has came out with something where people are like, yeah, I don't know who wants that.
That's true. This is the kind of thing I would expect from Razer, but like AMD, I feel like cannot afford to keep making bets like this that are like taking the focus off of competing with Nvidia in making like better hardware and better software.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they just
this feels like a diversion.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. And,
we'll keep our eyes peeled.
Again, I'm sure we'll address it again at some point. But
just watch that mouse will show up one day.
Also, if you are the write us an email if you hear this discussion and you're like, wow, they're missing the entire point. AMD's brilliant.
I want to know people who are in a situation where this would benefit them. I need to understand.
Yeah, exactly. I would.
Yeah, you should let us know if you are the hardcore gamer that has just been waiting to plug in that external graphics card you accidentally bought but then realized it couldn't go in your laptop.
Oh wait, this doesn't fit.
So hardcore. Yeah. Oh jeez. All right, well, it's just going to be, I'm sorry, but both of these next stories are triggering to me as well. So I think there's just going to be a lot of triggers today. So this next story is about Sony finally handing out some free game codes for its 2011 hack. If you guys remember, in 2011, basically the PlayStation Network went down for, I think it was 23 days total.
I remember that.
Well, I think before they actually did compensate people for it in a way, like either with I think they gave people a game then too. It was just that this is the class action lawsuit settlement.
Right.
That's why this has taken so long and why it's finally happening.
Exactly. So basically now, if you can apply, if you were online or whatever, had an account during that time, you fill out a lengthy form. It is very lengthy, obviously. Anything with lawyers will be. and you get free. But again, so this is the thing is right. This was 2011. Okay,
Yeah.
these codes are for PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and PSP games.
Oh,
I mean,
are they really for games
and
for
a
that?
handful of
Oh, I didn't even see
themes.
that
Not
part.
for
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
but yeah.
This is not for anything current, like if you have a PS4. And they will only work on your PS3 or any of those handhelds. They have Infamous, Little Big Planet, God of War HD Collection.
You know, that's
and
pretty funny to me that it was so long ago that we've gone up a console generation before that lawsuit was ever settled. That they really are not losing much of anything out of this because they're only giving away codes for the previous
old shit.
generation.
Absolutely.
And for a handheld thing that's dead in the water.
Totally dead.
They're done with the Vita and the Vita and PSP is like what wasn't there something
Might as
about
well
the
be
PS?
done.
Yeah, it might as well just be dead at this point.
It's
Dust off PSP. It's go time.
here we go. So I guess the only thing that you could get, or I'm assuming this would transfer to if you have a PS4, you can get a PlayStation Network subscription if the titles offer don't appeal. So I guess, I mean, at least you could get
That's
a free
something.
subscription to PSN. But yeah, so the lawsuit was settled for 2.75 million. And yeah, there you go. I mean, I saw things considered. I feel like 2.75 million is like a drop in the bucket for.
That's like, I mean,
That's what I was about to say.
That's
yeah.
nothing
like
for the
nothing.
magnitude of what that hack
Exactly
was.
for 70 million Sony customers, were affected during that. So I mean,
I
yeah,
didn't realize that was 5 years ago.
5 years, man.
That was a long time.
Yeah,
Well, I remember in high school when that happened, or I don't remember. Yeah, in high school that happened, and you just simply couldn't play games with your friends. Like it was the most frustrating thing.
I was like, well, I'm not a PlayStation gamer, so it didn't affect me. I was on Xbox at the time.
yeah, so that was before I was like in the PC gaming too. So it was like the PS3 versus Xbox 360 fanboyism, like what's going on.
Yep.
And it just like
Entrenched into our Modern Warfare 2 elitism.
That's right.
just heard about that for weeks, literally, because
big deal.
PlayStation was down. But yeah,
Exactly. Well, there you go. Sony made good on their.
Well, actually, by that time it was Black Ops. Yeah, we were in Black Ops.
that's right.
Yeah.
That happened.
First
Oh,
one.
boy. The good old YouTube days, man. Let's go back.
I know. Sometimes I do wish I could just snap back into those days where there was drama between all of the commentators and that was the best. It was really great.
Scott just wants to do a casual, laid back commentary.
I
over
do.
Some sniping
You know what? I was
gameplay.
joking, but I was like, I'm gonna go back and talk over. I mean, people have already done this, but my original fucking gameplay I ever uploaded to YouTube
God.
is so cringe. I might just
Yeah.
have to go back and just like talk about what I was thinking at the time and fucking kill myself. But yeah, it's fun. It's
My
fun to revisit.
suicide note to the internet
Suicide
is me
note.
commentating over my first
My original
commentary I put
with my
on
HD
YouTube.
PVR, dude. I plugged that thing in. I was on sub base. I was aggressively sniping. I was using the fucking dual. Oh god, what pistols was I using? Akimbo.
The
fucking
Raphicus?
revolvers or
Oh, the
whatever.
revolver.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, it's quite a video, dude. I didn't even take off Sham. I had a not motion blur. What is that in Vegas that you got to turn off?
Oh,
motion?
the ghosting from
Ghosting,
the
yeah.
it's from fucking
Resampling, turning off
resampling. Yeah.
Yeah, the resampling. It's not even it's
Shit,
fucking-
my first video was made in Windows Movie Maker.
Oh, nice.
I didn't even have Vegas at that time.
You're even
Hell
more
yeah.
into- Yeah. God damn it. I did use the Ravnica in that video too. Good memory. But all right. Let's talk about more somewhat. I guess this is drama. So the $100,000 Kickstarter
Confirmed for
campaign.
drama.
Yeah, there is some drama here. For the game Bear Simulator, which you may remember. How long? It was 2014. There were 4,000 backers, and there was $100,000 pledged for this game. Silly game about being a bear. And the developer has just basically, after there's a couple factors in this, but he basically said that he's done working on this game because of the reception that it received, and that there's really no point. I want to read you his statement. So again, this is kind of confusing because the actual score of the game, it's rocketed a 78% positive review on Steam, which I mean that's pretty good. But PewDiePie, our lovely PewDiePie, made a video about it, basically
just shitting on it. By the way,
shitting on it, right? And so he has a pretty solid reach. So I'm sure there was a lot of
Yeah, man,
messages sent
PewDiePie's
to-
reach is pretty solid. Let's just
No, he's got a few people watching his videos. But this is okay. So this was, and his name is John Farjay, and this was the statement that he released, and people were just kind of surprised about it. And again, I'm going to read it as it is written. I don't know if English is his first language or if he was just triggered, but it's here it is. Well, the game didn't have a great reception, has a stigma against its name, and there's plenty of other problems. So making any updates or going further is basically a lost cause now. Plus, not skilled enough to make the game better than it currently is or write better updates.
That's where I was like, oh God, I don't feel bad for you at all.
Yeah. So yeah, he's just basically saying that so he says
all he's saying is that he's an untested developer who put his dumbass idea on Kickstarter and it took off when it really shouldn't have, and he had nothing to show for it and got exactly what he deserved.
Yeah, and was really hoping the Steam release would go well, but why? And then it's like this whole thing is wrapped up in like a woe is me. I mean, again, like I've never developed a game. I've never, poured myself into a product and then been shit on. Oh wait, I definitely have. So I not necessarily in game development, but I can relate to getting shit on. I think anybody that does this kind of stuff can. And that's just, I mean, it's par for the course. And I'm not going to be the guy that's just going to be like, people respond to it in different ways, and I'm sure being shit on by somebody of PewDiePie's size brings about all kinds of special messages to your Twitter and inbox and all that kind of stuff. So
I mean,
I'm
the game still has a positive reception on Steam. It's got an 80% positive review rating on Steam still, even through all of that quote unquote brigading that went on. Exactly. People like upvoting the negative reviews on Steam and going at the developer on Twitter or whatever. It's not like it's completely turned
it really
on Steam for him.
I don't know why this guy.
Damn, dude, you got $100,000 to make a game that looks like someone vomited contrast all over a fucking texture. And then you've got the gall to be like, it's not worth it.
But
dude,
then he's
get
like,
the fuck out of here.
It's so woe is me. He goes, was really hoping the Steam release would go well. I'll just read it in the voice that I read this whole fucking statement in. Was really hoping the Steam release would go well, but why would it? Should have just gave the game to backers and not bother with Steam. Also, don't want to deal with the drama anymore. Can't ignore it because that causes more drama, and can't do anything about it because that causes more drama. So the whole statement is just very,
it's a person who didn't know how to develop a game and then also isn't ready for being on the internet at all.
Sure.
Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
And that's exactly right. And that's the other thing is so this was a Kickstarter idea. It blew up, but his success was due to the internet, and the very same internet that gave him his success is the very same internet that's also, when this product comes out and is subpar, are going to criticize it. And like you said, Sham, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be fueled by the internet and then also be shocked when the internet shits all over you for something that isn't that great, or they're just going to say what they will. And even like some people that are saying that's like the worst thing ever, I'm sure there are worse games, and like you said, 78%.
There definitely are worse games. It's just that this is not up to par with anyone getting $100,000 for a Kickstarter project and then selling the game for $15 a pop on Steam. It's just not. It's not of that quality.
Exactly. So we have some.
It looks like every other run-of-the-mill, like bad looking simulator. The art design is fucking atrocious. Oh man, just looking at the screenshots of it just make me vomit.
See, I don't know why he. Like, there are just people out there that don't take criticism well. But if it was me, for instance, I would have fucking rode this to the bank. Like,
that's what I mean. Who cares?
PewDiePie shitting on it is just money for me. Like,
you got to use that as armor.
Is like
exactly.
There are people that would pay for PewDiePie to give a negative review of their game just because like there is no such thing as bad publicity, really, when it comes to something like that. And like you said, a lot of people do clearly enjoy the game. Like, I feel like you've got to, I wanna feel sorry for him because like it seems like he might be getting like a lot of hate messages, and I get that some people like they definitely don't deserve that sort of vitriol for what is like a product that they poured their heart into maybe, but you also have to look at the good and like see the people that do enjoy your game and like want to make it better for those people, for the people that do like it, and you at a certain point you just have to ignore the negative. Yeah. Like, his game has gotten way more publicity than a lot of other games that probably deserve, publicity more than this game. But like, instead of looking on the positive side and trying to make lemonade out of lemons, he's just, it's like it really does sound like he's just kind of feeling sorry for himself. It makes it
I mean,
hard to sympathize.
this wouldn't even be a story if he just made the game on his own time and put it on Steam, maybe got it through Greenlight or whatever, and it just happened to not be good. But he got $100,000 on Kickstarter and couldn't deliver, and probably knew that he couldn't deliver.
Exactly.
That's where
he's admitting that he can't deliver. He in his statement,
exactly.
Statement,
admitted
he says,
that he wasn't
I don't
good
have
enough
the
to
skills
improve.
to make the game better. I mean, he said it. Like, and if that's the case, again, you were given $100,000 to make this. I don't know if this is a solo man project. Like, find somebody.
I think it's just one dude. Yeah.
Find somebody who can make it better then, and give them some of the Kickstarter money, and make the game better. Yeah, like the more that we're digging into this, it's. But okay, so that's not the end of the story though. So this article, there's a couple things that happened. So there was the PewDiePie video was put out. PewDiePie then, after hearing, people were hitting him up and be like, "Wow, you ruined this guy's life." PewDiePie took his video down initially. And also, sorry, Cliffy B chimed in too. And he said, I have such mixed feelings about this. On one hand, the internet is mean. On the other hand, welcome to game development, which is, pretty well said. And he also tweeted, the developer tweeted this, Gem, must be doing this PC game development thing wrong because it's way too hard to stay happy and productive. Like, this guy just sounds like like a real, like he should be on the internet. Like, I don't know if he thought going into game development was going to be this super Zen process, but
I mean, it's not only that, but dude, you're coming out with another simulator game.
That too. You wrote a fucking meme to the bank, and now you're complaining.
Right, exactly.
It sounds like someone who just wasn't ready for leading a thing that is going to either succeed or fail because of the internet. I have to wonder, when you make a Kickstarter like that, if it succeeds, you're going to get hate like that, right? Because you'll get publicity and someone will have a negative opinion. So I feel like how did he plan to be successful with this game? Because if his Kickstarter succeeded, by definition, he'd probably get some negative pushback. It just so happened that negative, the negative feedback came from one of the internet's largest personalities. But did he not think about that as a potential?
Right.
I mean,
it's even using Kickstarter, you're inviting people to be disappointed in what they get as an end result when they backed you in the first place. Maybe they didn't get exactly what they wanted, and they might give you, really negative feedback because of that. If they're, the wrong kind of person, it's like you have to be fucking ready to do this. Okay, the internet's not a nice place. It never has been, and it never will be. People are completely unfiltered, and you have to be prepared for it.
Exactly. So, and initially, so Pewdie, I call him Pewdie. Pewdie said random people tweeting
he's your
at
friend.
me. Well, I call him Felix, actually. I tweeted him about it. I said, stop being mean to the fucking bear dev. And he was like, I'll take the video down. No, but he basically took it down initially, made it private, and then put it back up with a note and just said, and he said, I took the video down initially after hearing the developer was really discouraged from getting really harsh criticism. And he said he's not interested in making people feel bad. But then later, after hearing that the developer stopped developing the game, which is what he claimed that he was going to do, and has since actually kind of relinquished on, so he put the video back up, which I think was the smart thing to do. And it's basically all the points that Sham and we have been saying. He said, if you ask the internet for 100K, then put out a bad product, what do you expect? Finish the game. Obviously, some people liked it because it does have a 78%. So, and in his final statement up until this point, he said, okay, been in a really weird mood for a while now and cannot snap out of it. Has been really annoying, and it shows. Very true. Need to get back to my original sarcastic self and stop being so complain-y. We'll try to make the next
first
update
thing is
funny
to
and
stop
interesting.
airing your fucking thoughts on social
Just
media
do
all the
it.
time. That's
Just
the
do
first
it.
rule. When you have a thought, it doesn't need to go on Twitter. You can just sit on it.
Sham, it does. Sham, everything has to go on Twitter.
I don't go to Twitter every time that I'm having a fucking bad day. I don't need to do that. And all that's going to do is compound your problems to the people who were giving you negative criticism in the first place. It's only going to give them more ammunition to fucking shoot at you.
Listen, all the people that air their daily ups and downs of life that I follow on Twitter are muted. So feel free to do that, but I will never see your tweets. You're right. You just chill, relax.
Tell that to APL. Yeah,
Yeah.
Scott's always coming on Twitter, like talking about just how bad his day is going. Just whenever he like spilled something in the kitchen, he comes and
I'm
is
a
like, guys, I'm
hypocrite.
just having a terrible
It's
day.
tough for me, guys,
God.
Yeah, man. But so anyway, definitely interesting. Did you play Did you just see? I haven't played it at all. I'm not gonna buy it.
No,
But
I've watched plenty of gameplay of it.
Okay.
I've just watched a lot of it. I
You
didn't
can
wanna
watch
buy it
about a
myself
minute
to
of
do
it, and you'll get
Yeah,
you'll
you get
gist
the
of it.
idea. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Oversharing. Yes, Bali. Thank you. He's definitely oversharing, and he's oversharing to the point that. But it sounds like he's snapping out of it. So some sweet updates coming. So maybe if you want to pick up the game and see where it goes, you can do that.
I think the way, like, if I'm him and I'm I'm not happy with all of the external criticism I'm getting, I think the way that you make sure that you stay true to like what you wanted that project to be is update it and communicate with at least your Kickstarter backers.
Sure.
Right? Like you don't have to service all of the random people who are like complaining because they watch PewDiePie's video, but I think on his side, like you have to keep your eye on the people that did back that project originally. Sure. And like make sure that they still get the product that they gave you money for, basically sight unseen. Like that's the thing that I really have a problem with is like him. The tone here is like ignoring the fact that people gave him $100,000 before they had a finished product. Right. And like if someone has criticism about your game, they might be a Kickstarter backer. Like you should make the game better for those people and ignore, you can ignore a lot of the criticism, but make sure that you like deliver on those people that believed in you.
Totally. Yeah, it's hard to imagine like being a person that doesn't feel indebted to someone who gave you money sight unseen. Like I can't imagine doing that to people. Like if they're giving me money and I can't do something by a certain time or deliver on my promises, like I would feel like the worst piece of trash on the planet. I don't know how people manage to just live their lives doing something like that where they just make promises that they can't keep to people. I don't know. It's weird to me.
It definitely you're totally right. It'd been a totally different situation if this was just another simulator made by a sole guy and it comes out, and then it's just like again, he's still writing a dead meme, but sure. Like he puts this out and then he gets just an insane amount of hate because PewDiePie puts out a video. But again, he didn't get $100,000 to do it. He just did it on his own time. But you're right. Like the $100,000, like right away, you are instantly indebted to the people that gave you the money to try to make the best possible product. And going on social media and just being like, wow, man, PewDiePie didn't like it. And, a lot of other people didn't like it and they're vocal about it. It's just like, that's fun. It's just like, again, it's just like,
it's a slap in the face
fucking life.
To the fans who did like it.
Yeah,
it's like,
totally.
The people that probably did like the product, like they have to feel completely ignored that they're getting in his eyes, like they're being completely drowned out by the negative, but like this guy can't seem to focus on the fact that clearly some people do like the game, right? Make it better for those people. But I mean, the internet is a mean place, but I feel like it's not to excuse the people that are randomly like tweeting hate stuff, but you also just have to accept that some people are going to have criticism, and whether legitimate or not, like you need to just ignore that and focus on the people that that you do owe making your product better for.
Yeah, and I agree with Trashiest, who's saying that like where $100,000 is a fuck ton of money, especially.
Well, I mean, he asked for 30, I think.
Okay, so they raised.
Yeah.
Okay. But again, so he's still got $100,000 though, and like what? Like again, I haven't played the game, but I would like to see the breakdown of where that money went. I mean,
yeah, that's an interesting.
Like that would be really interesting. Like
it's like I can understand 30,000. It's like if I'm going to make a game over the course of like a year and I've got like a prototype or something, 30,000 would pay for most expenses to like live and be able to try to do it full time. So 30,000 is not a terrible number to ask for, but to then get more than triple that,
get 100K,
I need to know. I want to know where it went.
Yeah.
Well, if you really want to show PewDiePie and his followers, that like if you really want to get the last laugh, then take the money that you inevitably got from all of that publicity and reinvest it into the game and make the game, make the game way better, address the things he criticized, and then like email him back and say, hey, you know what? Like I didn't like your video the first time, but like I'd love you to give it another try because I've like actually done a lot of work to try and make it better.
Right. Exactly. And
He
if
should
you
have just
can't do
been
it
like,
yourself, find somebody that can help you and pay them some of that Kickstarter money. I don't. It's like I get, like, are you the end all be all? I understand it's a solo man project. He's like, I can't do it. Nope, can't do it. Like, there's got to be. I'm sure there's somebody that can do it. I'm sure you could work with somebody to figure that out. But anyway, okay.
Well,
anything else to say on that, Brad?
This
You were saying
Kickstarter dev is not the only one calling it quits this week.
well, good segue, Brandon, into quick hits. Go ahead, take it away. That was beautiful.
So we have some quick hits, which I don't know.
Yeah.
This may not be quick because I think this is
Some of
actually
these are pretty
big news.
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
big.
But one of the bigger news pieces this week was that Microsoft has closed two studios, I think. Or is this, I guess, just one studio, but Lionhead Studios is closing, and Fable Legends has been canceled.
so it's Lionhead Studios in the UK, and then they're closing Press Play Studios.
Oh,
in
that's
Denmark.
right. That was the other one, Press Play. Yeah. So they're closing Lionhead Studios and Press Play.
Yeah. Again, I never really played any of the Fable games, though I know
Me
that
either. I never
they're
touched
they're
one.
lauded, or at least some of the older Fable games.
I feel like that's bold though, just for like I think they said somewhere in here that they wanted to make these changes are taking effect as Microsoft Studios continues to focus its investments and development on the games and franchises that fans find most exciting and want to play. So you just close the studios, like instead of making like interesting new titles. Like I don't know. I feel like there's something else going on, but
Yeah, that feels like a non explanation for this. But I mean, I don't know. Like I'm not sure how long these were in development for. If that's literally all they were working on, then like maybe it's easier to just cut ties with the whole studio. I don't really know the history behind either of these studios, but
right.
it's not like Microsoft doesn't have the cash to keep them open if they wanted to.
Sure.
Well,
I mean,
Fable Legends, was it showed off at an E3 or anything like that? Like promoted there? I don't remember if they had material like a trailer or whatever for Fable Legends. Like if it was seriously into development, I need to look around at that.
I mean, someone in chat saying that he's played the beta. Fable Legends beta is pretty fun. So apparently,
I think
Oh, really? There was
some-
a beta? Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's
He
like
plays it.
really far in.
Yeah.
Man, that's incredible.
Said, yeah, and Microsoft doesn't have a problem with, like it's definitely not a money problem because like let's just look at Mojang. Like they bought Minecraft for like how much? Like
Yeah.
they wrote a fat check to Notch, like just for Mojang alone. So I mean, it's definitely not I don't think it's a money problem, and I don't know, something
these
else is going on. I
Like
think.
it's also has to do with like overseas money that they can't bring back to the U.S. without paying
Right.
huge taxes on it.
Right.
But both of these studios are outside the U.S., so it's like that would not be the issue, right? It's not like it's not like, I mean, it seems like they have extra money outside of the U.S. to play with, or at least that's how it seemed when they bought Mojang. But this Lionhead is in the UK and Press Play is in Denmark. But yeah, it seems like Fable Legends was really far along because I think they had an E3 2015 trailer, and yeah, I guess they had a beta. I mean,
That just seems like throwing away so much to me. Yeah, I mean, if you've gotten it into a closed beta stage, that's a lot of game development for something like Fable. That's probably years. I mean, like 3, 4, maybe more.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in a playable state, for sure,
Because yeah, like Bali said, Fable 3 came out in 2010. So how long did you wait before they started up a development on Legends?
yeah, it looks like development began in summer 2012.
Good God.
So man, that's almost 4 years. In
I would feel
development,
so
3.5
bad as
years.
someone who like if I was a part of that team and I just had sunk so much into it.
All
and I
that time
really
and then
what was
just like,
going
man.
on. Oh, fuck.
Pretty rough. Okay. And also in things that are canceled and very disappointing to me because I actually played a decent amount of Rising Thunder. So Riot Games has acquired Radiant Entertainment, who made Rising Thunder, a fighting game that was unique in the sense of that all your moves had cooldowns and had a really cool art style, though, ran really well, played really well online, even in the alpha that I got a chance to play. I don't know did you ever play Rising Thunder, Sham? Did you ever get a chance to
No,
play
I
it?
never touched it.
was really good.
I watched you play it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really solid. So Riot has bought Radiant Entertainment, and this is the biggest. the reason this is news is Riot has never. This is the biggest studio. Riot is like the biggest studio in the world in terms of personnel, and they've never made an acquisition this big in their 10-year history. So, and they've hinted that they're working on other games other than League of Legends, but I don't know exactly where this acquisition fits into it. I'm assuming obviously they'll probably use the talent for whatever else they're working on. But it is a bummer. It basically has been all but confirmed though that Rising Thunder will be no more. So
yeah, it's interesting that they acquired the studio and then they are permanently closing Rising Thunder. Like that game seemed really far along.
Well, I mean, it says just the alpha.
Yeah,
it's just the alpha test.
No. They're wait. Where? I'm pretty sure the implication is they're like basically closing that game.
They changed the statement on the Radiant website has also been changed to indicate the game is being permanently closed.
Yeah.
For Rising Thunder. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think originally people were like, "Wait, does that just mean that they're stopping the alpha?" But like
that's what it sounded like.
I think I think the clarification is that like no, Rising Thunder will not exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So again, people unsure of exactly what this means, but I mean it's a big acquisition. So, and again, does this does this mean that like is this going to compete directly with an IP, right, that Riot's already working on? So they're figuring, you know what I mean, or they're taking ideas. Yeah. I said it makes sense in one sense in the MOBA realm, because Rising Thunder did have MOBA elements as far as like, not just, I shouldn't just say MOBA, but having the cooldowns and stuff on your fighters and stuff like that, and even like the loadout, the way that they set stuff up was different than some other fighting games. So I don't know, like maybe they'll take some ideas from that.
I feel like Riot would want to use their existing characters because like they have done a lot of work to build up
and then use that
makes sense.
That style.
Like they've built up the lore and the story around a lot of those characters, and so like maybe the goal here is like you look at Rising Thunder's tech, like that's one of the things that the Radiant team is like pretty well known for, like the tech in their game, and I think they're like the creators of GGPO, the fighting game network technology. And so maybe they just like take sort of the tech behind Rising Thunder and do a whole bunch of new art and story that like incorporates League characters or something.
You're totally right.
Like
that's probably what they're going to do.
That seems like I mean it seems like the only way they would close this game is if they had like a good idea for how to take the backbone of that game and turn it into something that's more like Riot-esque.
The Riot fighting game, yeah.
Totally. And actually thinking about it now, right, again, like it makes total sense, like the idea that Rising Thunder had, cooldowns, all that stuff. Riot has over 100 characters with lore, with all kinds of unique moves. Like actually, and saying that out loud, like that's a game that I would definitely play.
Like that actually sounds like a really cool concept.
Fun. Yeah, it does.
Well, thinking about it too, like what markets, like specific genres like Riot could go into, it's like they're already getting these, very well established in the MOBA. They are like the MOBA scene, but then like with the exception of Dota 2, but then like what else is there? They're not gonna. I don't think it just doesn't seem like right to enter like the FPS scene. So I think the next bet was definitely the fighting scene. If they're to stay with doing these free to play competitive games, I think that just makes most sense.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're definitely tipping their hand that like this team has the expertise in fighting games. So like it is basically 100% that Riot will be working on a fighting game with this team because like that's where their pedigree is.
Right. Yeah. So definitely keep an eye on that and watch for an announcement of Riot Thunder, the new as opposed to Rising Thunder, the new League of Legends fighting game. Which I mean, I think that definitely makes the most sense. So. All right, there's a new Hearthstone expansion, Whisper of the Old Gods. They announced it. You guys excited about this? I don't play Hearthstone. So.
I know I haven't played Hearthstone in forever.
I know Brandon
I added this in because this is it's exciting for me. They're sort of doing the whole slow trickle out of new cards and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think there's like there'll be 134 new cards. And this I don't think it's coming at the same exact time as the new standard mode, which gets rid of a lot of old expansions cards for competitive play, but it's going to come close enough where standard and this new expansion will basically change the game in like huge fundamental ways. So I'm excited for this just because like between the introduction of standard and a new expansion coming at the same time, I feel like Hearthstone, I think it'll be like the most exciting time in Hearthstone that we've seen in a while. So I'm excited for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Brandon's the only one that plays Hearthstone.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. He's the He's the
I stay
solo
away
girl
from that nerd
one.
shit, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Well, here we go, though. Diablo 2 has been patched for the first time in 5 years. And still impressive that Blizzard thinks a 16-year-old game is considered worth patching. But obviously, the Diablo, I almost said Dota 2. Diablo 2 community is still really large.
Well, it's for what? For new OS
yeah,
optimization?
exactly.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know, that makes sense to me. They've been doing a lot of work with like keeping their older titles up to date and being able to run on the new OSs and fostering a better play of those. So
yeah, and they said they're improving their cheat detection and hack prevention capabilities. So they're going to try to make it a little bit better for the ecosystem. But yeah, there you go. So
And,
if you're still playing Diablo 2,
Warcraft 3 is also getting a new patch.
yeah.
So props to Blizzard for keeping, at least doing minor things to keep those games
Running.
playable and running in today's world. I think that's awesome.
Yep. All right, and then here we go. This is going to trigger Brad because he's been trying to get into the closed beta of
I know, I'm not even
Overwatch by just literally last week admitting to just playing random Blizzard games and hoping that's the key. Just opening them up and
I don't know.
Just
Have 'em
letting
all open at the
instances
same
of
time.
all Blizzard games run
Running
for
at all
24
times.
hours a day.
But the open beta is coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And so if you want to play it, you and a friend can play it on May 3rd to the 4th if you basically pre-order it or you get early access. And then if you want to wait and you can play the open beta period from May 5th through the 9th. That'll be available to everybody on all platforms. So, I mean, I don't know if you didn't get into the closed beta and you really want to play it ahead of the May 5th and 9th, you can play it on the 3rd and 4th.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll definitely play it when it's in its open beta period for the 5th or the 9th, but I'm not gonna.
I've already pre-ordered. It's
So
Wow.
upset,
it's
like,
a good game.
at not getting it. Like, I only got in for one stress test weekend, and I refused to play it more than like an hour or two because I did not want to hate myself after I lost access and then haven't gotten it back. The only beta that I've ever been invited to fully was Heroes of the Storm, and I'm like, yeah, great, a game that I don't even really want to play.
Yeah.
You fucking throw. It's like, why do I even check these things off? Go fuck yourself, Blizzard. You're just messing with
I don't
me.
want it. Yeah.
But I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna get into the early access beta. Of course, I'm going to. I really want to fucking try the game and put a lot of time into it.
Definitely looks a lot of fun. I mean, haven't played it either. Did not get in, but we'll definitely begin that.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
It's one of the few games I've played recently where I can say like pre-ordering for me was not a hard decision. Like the game is already in such a polished state that I'm pretty confident that assuming you get a chance to play it now and you think, I like this game, I think pre-ordering is a pretty safe bet compared to pre-ordering other games.
Well, and hey, people are gonna get 4 days of open beta access, so that's a very good trial period in order to find out if you want the game or not.
They already announced their payment model, right? It's going to be a $60.
It's a $40 game.
Or $40. That's what it was.
60 is a deluxe edition.
That's what it is.
Yeah, $40 on PC, and then they have like loot boxes that I assume you'll be able to buy, but it's like a bunch of cosmetic stuff. So
wait, is it going to be 40 on consoles too, or is it?
I don't think so. I think it's 60 on console. I think 40 is the PC version only,
right.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, get shit on, kids.
Yeah, there you go. Console superior.
Gotta pay for your stupid disc.
Exactly. All right, so let's get into some new releases here. March 15th, Need for Speed comes out, and
I put this in because I didn't realize that they're still making Need for Speed games.
Yeah,
I just
actually looks
remember
good,
seeing the promotional material for it during E3 or whatever, and I'm like, wow, man, I love all this voice acting and not cars racing right now that you're showing me. Thanks a lot, Need for Speed.
yeah. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, a $60 title on Origin. You can pre-order and customize your ride with the Need for Speed styling pack. So If that's something that interests you. Honestly, I used to
boy.
love the need. I used to love the Need for Speed games, and I've been wanting to like get into some racing games. So maybe I'll give this a try and see.
Underground 2 is the shit, right?
I want another fucking
Yeah.
Burnout if I'm gonna play a racing game again. I want
Burnout. Yeah, Burnout's
game.
so fucking good. Yeah. Did they ever release Burnout? Was Burnout ever on PC?
Paradise is on PC.
Paradise
yeah,
is okay.
Paradise and all the DLC is on there.
They can Burnout 2 and 1 and 2, but yeah.
It's in the description for the game. It says race incredible cars with an unlocked frame rate, wheel support, and manual transmission. What?
Hey guys, just letting you know, this time we didn't fuck up the frame rate. We promise. The physics
like
aren't tied to
that
it now.
has to be put in, like, yeah.
Well, the thing that confuses me is like 2 of those things are like technical specs, like unlocked frame rate and wheel support. But then what is manual transmission? That's not a technical piece of the game. Are you just saying that like it is an option to choose a car with a manual transmission?
Like that there was ever an idea that wouldn't be an option? Like they were like, every car's automatic.
I was almost not on board, but then you told me that you absolutely have manual transmission in this game.
Yeah, that is a little odd.
That's such a weird thing to be in the headline for the game.
I just remembered that Orb got invited to like some Need for Speed event, and he was going on about how it looked really good at 60 FPS, but I couldn't help but notice that he was fucking running into every single wall. So I called him autistic on his YouTube channel, and he noticed. But just a side note. Sorry, we could continue.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was any. He hasn't repaid you.
No, that was just that was my story.
So we learned that Brad is an e-bully.
Yeah, look at that, dude. You need to go to a seminar. You and freak. Good lord.
Okay, here, hold on. I got it. Joel, it's like I'm watching my little autistic cousin play this game. Why do you let yourself hit so many goddamn walls? And he replied, I live life in the fast lane, fast babes and hot cars. He wouldn't know about this life.
Perfect answer. Oh, shit. All right, so that's tomorrow. That'll be March 15th. So today, because it is, well, at least for me on the East Coast, it is 12:10 in the morning on March 14th. We talked about this last week. There's Poop in My Soup releases. I'm not going to say any more about it because we really dived in last week.
Expect a review from APL Fisher himself.
Yes, I definitely think I'm going to have to at least give this a try. I'll read the description one more time. There's Poop in My Soup is a physics-based game about a little boy who likes to poop on passers-by. Cause as much damage as you can in the streets below. Unlock power-ups and new projectiles by completing your to-poo list. Enough said. Comes out today, so might be picking that up. A game called another one today, Sparkle, and then I think this is Brad's note. Definitely not a ripoff of PlayStation's Flow, which I haven't actually seen, but it looks like
it's literally the same thing. Like the graphics, everything else, just the mechanics. It's I don't know how they are getting away with it. Yeah. Like it's literally just like they changed the color scale or something, so it's not the same like tint. I don't know. It's not as purple, but it's literally the same thing.
Gotcha.
But it was okay on the PlayStation, I guess. But yeah, that's about that.
Okay.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm looking at Google Images of Flow and then looking at the screenshots of this Sparkle game on Steam, and like, what the fuck? They're so similar looking. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's I'm not sure. Well, I imagine that'll be taken down, so buy it now if you really want it.
If you really want it, yeah.
I mean, I guess it's different enough in some of the character design, but god, it's just it just looks like a carbon copy, or someone's just like, yeah, I'm gonna make that too. You think you can fucking release on PS4? Yeah. You haven't cornered the PC market yet.
All right. Speaking of another, this is on March 17th. Speaking of another game that's definitely not a Tron ripoff, what? Yeah, go ahead. You pronounce it how you think it's pronounced.
It's called Positron.
So you don't have to think about how it's pronounced. It's pronounced Positron.
Well, I thought maybe they were going something with like position, like a play on position or something.
There are a lot of games coming out that have this look to it lately, like racing games that have this Tron shit going on. I don't know why it's become so popular lately. This isn't the first game. This is like the second or third game that I've seen with this kind of art style for like a fast-paced, either racing or some other thing that's fast-paced.
It's basically like Snake, just with a Tron-looking atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. So games that I actually give a shit about, though. This one, Brad, that you put in, Shadow's Peak. actually looks really. Again,
I actually
it could
put this in for you. Actually,
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna have to play this. I didn't know this. So it has all the things I love: early access, horror, indie, action, adventure. I'm definitely gonna be checking this out. It's a story-driven, atmospheric horror game focused on exploration, which just that's definitely not generic at all.
Oh
About
God, it already
6,000
looks like
of
it's just
these.
Dear Esther, but at night.
It kind of
pretty
does look like
much. Yeah.
Esther.
I really like
Pete,
this. Oh, go ahead.
sorry, go ahead. No, it just says I'm just gonna read Shadow's Peak. You play as a writer. Oh, okay, a little Alan Wake influence. Who decided to visit a mysterious place called
Just
Shadow's
because
Peak.
you play as a writer.
Yeah, that they did basically stole
Automatically Alan Wake.
to gather materials for a new book about legends. Be warned, because see, Alan Wake goes off to write his book when he's on vacation.
Oh, okay. All right.
Be
well,
warned,
that's
Shadow's
more.
Peak will not hold your hand. So there you go, guys. Be warned. Honestly, the gameplay, the game is very, very ugly looking, but in the trailer, it doesn't look that great. But I'll definitely give it a try. It's an early access game, and it has potential to have some.
It honestly looks like every other exploration horror game that I've ever seen on Steam in the screenshots.
And actually, watching this trailer, it's not like if these were the best cuts they could find to try to make the gameplay look exhilarating. Towards the end, it's fucking looks pretty terrible. But I might give it a try. Oh, there was a really edgy shot of a dog actually hanging from a noose on a tree. So
yeah, I see that.
You might have to call PETA. But that does come out March 18th. And then finally,
like you can just taste the unity.
Yes, you taste the unity. I was just gonna say that. It's very, very apparent. And so, Just Cause 3 DLC Sky Fortress Pack that comes out. I don't. Was there a date on this, or is this just?
I think it's March 15th.
Yeah, it is the 15th.
Yes, the 15th. Yeah, March 15th. So, Just Cause 3 DLC for you. Yeah,
man, they're throwing in a Bavarian wingsuit, which is gonna make the wingsuit like just the most ridiculously overpowered thing ever, and just kind of give you full control over flying with Rico. It's just taking what was already and a whatever you want to do to kill things game, and just trying to make it even more of that, and just give you more options. I mean, to be fair, like I enjoyed all the time that I put into Just Cause 3. But for most people, it's not going to be enough if you're not into toying around with the physics and kind of doing whatever comes to mind in order to liberate an area, because it's fucking repetitive as shit and the story is awful. The story is so bad.
Yeah, you kind of make your own fun in the game.
Yeah, either you have to construct the fun yourself, or there won't be any fun at all. Is the problem? I mean, it's a great looking game, and it gives you the tools necessary, but you know, it's just one of those kinds of experiences that you have to make your own time for.
I feel like we don't have enough games like this where the story's garbage, everything almost, but the mechanics themselves are so ridiculous.
Solid.
Yeah. Like. The only thing that really comes to mind recently is like Saints Row, but Saints Row is kind of done for. Like it was so ridiculous and over the top. That's what made it fun. Like the story
I would appreciate Just Cause more if they would realize that no one gives a fuck about their story and having that kind of gameplay flow going on, and they would just scrap it and build Just Cause 3 from the ground up to be crazy physics and with multiplayer and that's what it is. Like that's what it should be, because that's what people want to play with that game, is to just have all these tools at their disposal in order to cause destruction and do it with other people.
I have to think that they're gonna work on that at some point. If they're not already working on it as like some sort of, maybe it's not Just Cause 3, but it's like, you know, Just Cause Online or something. Like they have to be working on that, because they clearly know that Just Cause 2 was a success because of the multiplayer mod. And like I have to think that there's a reason that Just Cause 3 doesn't already have multiplayer. Like maybe they don't have the expertise on their team to do it, or maybe
maybe it was with Square Enix or something, like not letting them do it. I don't know.
There's got to be like some explanation internally for why Just Cause 3 is not already built around a multiplayer experience, because it's so clearly like an easy win. That game needs multiplayer. So I'm hoping that maybe they'll add it to Just Cause 3 at some point, or maybe they're like working on a more ambitious project for like a Just Cause Online.
Yeah, I mean, at least the modders behind Just Cause 2 multiplayer are working on Just Cause 3 multiplayer, so eventually it'll be around.
Just Cause 3 will be a worthwhile purchase just because at some point there will be a multiplayer mod.
Definitely. Okay, so I think that's it. That's it for the new releases. We're gonna jump into viewer questions now, and we start off with one from James Kurt, who is asking us, Sky Sports in the UK showed highlights on IEM Katowice. How far do you think they could take this, showing live majors, etc.? And I did see in the CSGO subreddit they talked about that. I mean, I don't know. Again,
showing live majors, I don't know. I mean, it's already been done before. It's like DirecTV.
It's been done in Sweden.
DirecTV did fucking Counter-Strike back in the day, and that failed.
Wow. Yeah, that was before even that failed because
they didn't do it on normal cable. It was on DirecTV subscription. It was a different method for it, but it didn't turn out completely well. But I mean, this is a different landscape. Esports are way more popular than they ever have been.
And right now, I mean, getting into esports is as like there's tons of money pouring into it is like an easy. I think it's like esports is like it's gone from like esports to like esports is a buzzword, right, for a lot of people. And like, like ESPN, like Yahoo now has an esports section. That was actually pretty recent. We didn't talk about that, but Yahoo added esports.
For me, it's I'm so disconnected from the idea of cable TV anymore. It's like I don't even give a shit if competitive gaming ever ends up on TV, because I don't even think that the audience is on cable anymore.
No, I don't think. I think it's the wrong. I don't think it matters because it was born.
Everyone who is serious about competitive gaming is already on the internet watching competitive gaming on live streams. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't think it's going to gain anything.
It's an attempt to bring the younger crowd back to like sports on cable, I think.
Yes.
Because like even then there's so many.
Yeah, maybe it's a reverse. Yeah, like a reverse idea of getting people to watch like ESPN again.
It is.
Gamers to watch ESPN instead of the other way around.
It is, and what's going to happen is we haven't even. I mean, esports actually had insane explosive growth in the last 2 years, and even in this last year. But we have not even begun to see. Okay, so traditional sports, you have broadcast rights, right? That's going to happen to esports, and you're going to see some of these. I know what's going to happen. It hasn't happened yet, but you're going to see some of these more traditional, like cable companies and stuff like that, pay. I think down the road, maybe not next year or even the year after, but as esports continues to grow, for exclusive broadcast rights, we're the only place you're going to be able to watch. Again, it depends on the league and who does what, but it's going to happen where it's only going to be on Sky Sports, where it's like, if you want to watch this and it's not online, I mean, again, I don't know, like part of that
well,
go
to
there.
Be fair, I don't know if Valve would ever do that though.
It's been done.
I don't think that's going to happen is because like you look at how Turner has kind of tiptoed around with the E-League stuff that they put on cable. The only way that they can look authentic to the esports audience is to make sure that it still is online. That that the viewers still have a choice of kind of where they want to watch it, but maybe there's some exclusive content on
that's
cable.
True on cable.
Exactly. I just don't think it would ever reach the point of like there being no more Face It and no more ES.
Oh no,
all of these other pro leagues. It's like I don't think that Valve would ever like cut them off to have an exclusive deal.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying though having a single tournament one-off though. You know what I mean? Where it's like either pay-per-view or whatever. Again, that goes against
pay-per-view. Oh god.
But I'm telling you, dude, if it keeps going, I know esports is different, but you're now getting people that are in traditional sports media trying to get into this. And again, obviously, not everything applies, but there's going to be certain things I feel like that are going to be tried and that will probably fail. But as a result of the old guard trying to hold on to what they know. Yeah, you already see it.
It seems like they should already know this by now, but the audience that's watching esports on the internet are so averse to advertisements at this point that they do everything in their power to avoid them.
Yeah,
and exactly. People aren't going to suddenly just become. They're not going to bend over for you to shove, a cable esports league down their throat in order to watch Counter-Strike. It's going to backfire if you try to do some dumb shit like that. People are going to find a way around it if they can.
Exactly.
Well, and then the death, like the death knell for a traditional company, traditional like cable or TV company coming into the space is if you look inauthentic to the people that are already there.
Totally.
And so that like the reason I think you may be right. I mean, a few years down the line, who knows? I mean, it's like it's too early to tell because
and
it's
I'm not even talking
pay-per-view
just on cable. I'm talking pay-per-view paywall website. I mean, they already, to an extent, they do that. Again, it's more quality options with certain.
Yeah, like having the highest quality.
Highest quality, if you want to watch 1440, who knows? Like, I think they're gonna look at any. I mean, esports is a business, and you will bleed money out of every business every way you can. And I'm not saying it's necessarily like going to be the right or the best ideas, but I just feel like where esports is going, we're going to see more of those kind of plays happening at some point.
You'll probably see some experimentation, and some of it will probably be really dumb.
Yes.
I mean, we've already
like a Zubu.
Yeah. Oh God,
Yeah.
that recent news. Holy.
Yeah. So they paid for exclusive matches, right, on Azubu, or is it
they did.
with ESL? Yeah,
They did.
And I forgot who it was, but they kicked what's his name for like not listening and not broadcasting it on Twitch for his own channel. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
That was. I think we covered that a couple.
We covered
podcasts
that. We
ago,
talked
but-
about that. But yeah,
but
I mean, again, that's concerned. I mean, again, I don't know where Azubu is getting its fucking money from. But
That's a curious question.
that's like who's funding Azubu? But
Because every time I've tried to go there, it has
worse.
been a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare to try to buffer that stream up, and the chat is fucking horrible. It's not moderated at all in any kind of sense. It's
listen, like I
It's
won't
so
like I'm not
wild.
you're not gonna find me like praising MLG on the regular, but like at least I could go like when MLG had the exclusive stuff, right? Like I
Yeah.
could go and for the most
yeah.
part, if I just put the player on, I can watch in 1080p. And again, it's not like the greatest, but it's serviceable.
that I was happy with. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like I
whenever
can
they
do
did
it
have
as
the
long as I can
exclusive
watch
stream
the
there.
game. When it comes to Azubu, it's like that's not anyway. I'm gonna be really interested to see like they better step up their fucking tech because I at least want to be able to watch these games. So anyway,
No, if
that's
they
like-
spent all the money trying to get these matches, Scott, they don't have anything left.
yeah, it's all gone.
Upgrade
They're just gonna
their-
host it on the
their
current platform.
streaming infrastructure.
I really
I
hope
think that what I think we will see in the shorter term is like I'll go back to kind of the Turner and E-League stuff. I would not be surprised if they have some kind of like exclusive supplementary content that's not necessarily like the matches, right? Because people want to watch the matches, probably on Twitch, maybe in other places. I don't know. But like maybe some of the like supplementary content, like player interviews and other stuff that like some people are interested in, but it's not the core of the content. They may have that be exclusive to like their TV broadcast or something specific, so that they do like a value add thing to get people to go watch it on cable or go to like their own website or something like that. But I think if they try and like actually hold the core content back, they'll get revolt from the people that are already in the scene, and they'll come off as like they'll just come off as inauthentic, and they'll be kind of blacklisted by the community, and you only really get one shot at that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like inviting too many people to your house when your house is it's a studio apartment, and you're inviting 100,000 people over. That's what Azubu's trying to do.
That's a fucking amazing analogy. Right, and the actual TV you're watching the game on, Sham, is a 12-inch black and white TV from like 1972, and it's like trying to pack in 100,000 people. It's like, man, this experience is not that great. Yeah. God damn it. All right, so. All right, Not So Ordinary Gamer asks us, if March Madness was turned into meme madness, good lord, what would your bracket look like? Come back next week with a bracket. Okay, so I guess this is homework. I mean, we can just I don't know. I'm not doing this homework. I'm just gonna go.
I'm not either.
How many meme teams do you need?
Yeah.
A meme madness bracket.
I think we should turn this back into homework for the listening audience.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. What's your?
That's true.
If you can create us a coherent meme madness bracket, I will do my best to make sure that we can talk about it. It has to be good though. Like I think the threshold for quality needs to be pretty high here, but like I would love to see a good meme madness bracket.
All right. I like that challenge.
Yeah, this is up to the community.
Yeah, the community's gonna have to put it together. I want to
fucking
see
do
it in the traditional format too, right? Just make it like a March Madness bracket. And put maybe the meme with an image of the meme and the name of it, and then also the rankings, obviously.
I wouldn't mind
a link out to the Know Your Meme.
Yes,
category.
yes, exactly for background.
I wouldn't mind game analysis, like what
Just
happened.
Make sure to cite your sources.
God, yeah, I like that, Brandon. Turn that back. Turn that back on the people.
I would be curious to see the power rankings too, because I have my own opinions, but I'd like to understand what the seedings look like. I want to know. I want to see if I agree with the upsets.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, because then eventually, I mean, you can make a bracket, but you don't know until you actually play it out. So you got to put the memes against each other. So Again, I don't know if we could simulate that. Maybe someone could. Oh God. And now I just thought of like a football manager 2016, but a meme manager 2016, and you literally pit memes against each other in an arena. Oh God, I can't give any more shitty game ideas to people that will actually do.
All right, you know, I was almost thinking that I
God.
would dabble in making like a little proof of concept game just to see, just to try.
Okay.
And maybe I'm gonna make fucking meme manager.
Do it, champ. Already, I feel like that's something so stupid that on Kickstarter would get some traction if you could write a good enough of like a explanation as to what it would entail. That's, God damn it.
Can Kickstarter,
right, Sham, you should do
does
it.
Kickstarter let you use Comic Sans for your type font on your page?
That'd be good.
I'm assuming you probably can.
Or
I've seen some pretty
Impact-
interesting ones.
Impact or Comic Sans?
God. Trash said, "I'll give you $100,000 for Meme Manager 2016. Just don't cry on the internet after." Yeah, that'll be the requirement. I won't make yeah.
That reminds me, I don't know if you guys have seen that YouTube channel Commentikit, where he writes videos about trolling on YouTube. But anyways,
you sent me one. He's actually pretty funny.
He's really funny. But he made a Kickstarter about Eric drinks wine and gets a haircut, and he just to drink wine and get a haircut, and he would make a video of it. He rose $4,200.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it really, Sham, like, yeah, you could do it, dude.
Wasn't there that
You said
one
you don't
guy
want to be beholden to the people, but I mean,
wasn't there a guy who had a campaign in order to learn how to make it was potato salad and had so much money for learning how.
That guy actually like delivered a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
I think he had like a potato salad cookbook and stuff that he ended up doing. Like he really went all the way with that.
Man. God damn it! Oh, there's the Kickstarter. All right.
Yes, the Kickstarter for the fucking.
God damn it!
Drinks wine.
Wow. Look at that.
I love that the goal was 1,700. What did they need 1,700 for?
Maybe
they even had stretch goals.
Yeah,
Becomes a period piece. Live one-man stage show with Salvia himself reprising the role of Eric for $10,000 goal. Billboard of Ted Cruz chugging cock somewhere a day. Those are some nice stretch goals.
All right. See, it's all in how you write it, Sham. That's really all. That guy's really funny though. He's really good. His videos are great. All right, so we have another. So I have to shout out R. Walski, who's been sending us. He sent us one exceptional email. I think maybe was it last week or the week before? Maybe it was last week that he had sent us a really good.
I think
email.
it was last week. Yeah. It was a little early, but yeah.
But he sent us another one, and it's sad that Katie Zen is not on the cast this week. But this is from R. Walski. I will read his email in its entirety now. In regards to the being known as Katie Zen, your time as a respected member of the cast has been called into question. Wendy's loaded, quote-unquote, fondue fries. Where on this tiny spinning blue marble we call Earth would any living creature consider a food item, nay, a heartburn bomb from that establishment, be even remotely considered in the same category as fondue?
Fondue here is capitalized, by the way.
Capitalized fondue. Katie, and this, so if you didn't last week, Sham, Katie expressed, when we started talking, the question was about fondue from Walski. And so we started talking about fondue, and Katie Zen chimed in with the only experience he ever had with fondue was with the fondue fries from Wendy's. Yes. So anyway, it was a whole thing. Katie's lack of taste, not only in class but in food, is deplorable, despicable, and utterly unacceptable. The Barn Door University's The Barn Door University's venerable altruistic program for education, or VAPE for short, has accepted Katie of House Zen into its wooden velvet-lined walls in order to educate the young spawn on the ways of the world. The VAPE program will instill in its students the appreciation for all things Barn Door, mac and cheese, shitting on the iTunes application, and most importantly, the abuse of fire alarms. Again, from last week or 2 weeks ago. Through this program, KD may hope to rise to the occasion and graduate by accompanying the great Barn Door to his final test, the Treasure Island Flea Market.
And we're really going back.
Wow, he's referencing a bunch of stuff here. This is Arwalski's on one. All right. My question for the cast is, the worst part of a new toaster is the smell when it's first turned on. What was the first time you got drunk, and what was the drink? There's the actual question. I think it was a statement followed by a question. Love the cast from R. Walsky. So,
man, there's a lot to digest there.
There's a lot to digest. Well, first of all, yeah, thank you for the email. And I don't know how many times I've ever bought a new toaster. Maybe once in my life I've ever had a new toaster that
God, I don't have a toaster. Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever turned on a toaster without like something in it that would have overridden the newish smell of the toaster.
Yeah, who's just popping down the toaster, sniffing
just burning off the new toaster?
I don't like. I've never given a new toaster like a test run.
You have to
nothing
sanitize it by turning it on first and just letting it sit there.
Oh my god. So I mean, I'll just take your word for that because I haven't really experienced that. The first time I got drunk, man, that's I'm trying to even think. Like I don't even like had a beverage. Jeez.
Oh,
My parents had a
beverage.
My parents had a liquor cabinet. Like when they used to drink when I was like in middle school or whatever, and I had my cousin over. He was like just staying over to play video games. And he came back one day with like a empty plastic bottle from like a Diet Coke or something. And he had taken.
Brad, looking down while you tell the story. You seem.
I know. Sorry.
Let's see the camera.
I was just trying to remember everything. So like he had taken a little bit of everything in the cabinet, mixed it into one drink.
Oh,
that was my first time.
Introduction.
It was the nastiest thing I've ever drank. But
did you get buzzed off of it? Were you feeling good?
Yeah.
Or did you? Okay, because he's asking like actually I get drunk or
I guess that's the only thing I can really recall. I guess, but
I don't really have like
out to me.
Yeah. I mean, even now, I don't drink all that much. I mean, I've had a couple experiences. I've shared the experience where I went to Pittsburgh for the first time and hung out with a bunch of the KBMOD guys, and I vomited all over one of their friends' expensive Persian rugs to the point that it was unrepairable and would have cost hundreds of dollars to wash. That wasn't the first time I ever got drunk, but yeah, I don't know if I can isolate like I think it was probably. Man, I don't really have any like. I wasn't really a rebellious kid. Like I wasn't drinking underage. I was pretty much on the straight and narrow. No, that's not true. Okay, nope. Hold on. Visited? Nope. Okay. My ex-girlfriend went to UVA. I was a junior in high school, and she was a freshman at UVA. And I know that's probably. I don't know if that's late. I don't know if that's like late blooming to be drinking. I mean, I don't know. But I was underage, obviously, and I went to. And I guess I had we were at a pizza place, and I've told this story too on the podcast as well. See, all my stories are like I don't have anything to hide. I got super drunk in the room, and then we went to a pizza place, and it was like after a football game had let out, and I was making a scene because I don't think I had ever been drunk before, and I hit a waitress who dropped a pizza all over like somebody else's table.
What?
So anyway. Yeah, like that again. Like it's all
you assaulted a waitress?
No, I didn't assault. No, it was like I had gotten up like to go to the bathroom and I wasn't like aware. Like I was, and she was like carrying pizzas around. I just
you
like
should
knocked
choose your words more carefully.
Why? What did I say? I did.
Sound like you assaulted.
You said you
punched
hit a
her
waitress.
right in the mouth.
Oh, hit a waitress? No. No, I didn't hit her. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Bumped into.
Bumped into is what I meant. Yeah, and I made her knock the pizzas all over the store, and I made cut a scene, and my girlfriend, at the time, just pulled me out of there. But that was, and again, I guess I thought I was being real rebellious because, I was visiting my older girlfriend in college. But yeah, that's about it. I don't really have that many like crazy alcohol stories though. Like, I'm not a big drinker. Brandon, what about you though? I'm very curious.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was the first time would have been in college. I didn't drink at all in high school, but I don't remember the drink. If I had to guess, it was probably. Like I definitely remember some early times in college having like trash can punch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is basically for those who don't know what trash can punch is, it's like generally 151 and Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's it's usually like just thrown into a big trash can. That's why they call it trash can punch.
Yeah.
But that's like the only thing I can think that was like distinctively college. But I mean, I just like I don't know. It was probably some whiskey and Coke or something. Nothing like crazy. I mean, it was probably just too many of whatever it was.
Didn't hit any waitresses, that's for sure.
Yeah,
No,
you did not get any
was-
pizzas out of anybody's hand. God, did I really say hit a waitress? Okay, that was really poor. I meant
You
that I
just
bumped
dug yourself
into.
a big old hole.
I did. I meant that I bumped into. I would never. I'm not like.
Someone's gonna pull that. Someone's gonna pull that soundbite.
They are going to. They're going to definitely do the soundbite. I am literally when I'm drunk. Like if I am actually, but I am the nicest. I am not an angry drunk by any means. If anything, I will just go to sleep. But yeah. All right. Well, what else do we have here? I think that's it for the questions. We
Yeah,
do
there's no
have.
point in asking me because I'm straight edge.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm
Sham's
not
a-
straight edge, but I would never get drunk or high in any situation. I have no interest in that. So
He would never knock into a waitress and spill
no,
pizza. Sham's
if
too-
I punch a waitress, I fucking mean it. It's not gonna be because I got drunk and lost all control of myself.
Oh God.
Yeah,
God bless.
Sham has hit many waitresses, but,
But
none of
it's
them.
And
were
I've
under the
had good
influence of
reason
alcohol.
for it.
Totally intentional.
They had it
bringing
coming.
bringing in Pepsi when he asked for Coke. You know, it's just like not acceptable. Yeah. Oh man.
We'll have to address this Katie's in issue when he's back
Yes.
on.
We will. We will have a stern talking to with him. All right. So we have our iTunes podcast review of the week. Brandon, I'll let you go ahead before we read the review. I'm really excited about the review this week, but how can they leave their own review for us?
Yeah, so we do we do this cast live each week on Twitch, but we do have an audio version as well that's on iTunes. So if you prefer listening to the podcast, while you're driving to work or on the train or the bus or whatever it is, you can go and subscribe to the cast on iTunes. And if you do that, then you should also go and leave us a review on iTunes. And we look for the reviews each week. And if you leave us a review, it has to have 5 stars if you want to get featured. That is really the only rating that matters. If you don't think it's a 5-star podcast, then just don't rate the cast. But if you leave us 5 stars, and we would love to hear from you, like this gentleman or this being this week.
This unique, this person of unique dimension, which I once saw on a roller coaster ride. If you are a person of unique dimension, please do not ride this ride.
Yeah, but he has what seems to be a pretty important issue, and so if you have a trial going on in your life, or you want to share something with us, that is a great place to do so. So please do leave us a review, leave us 5 stars, and we may feature your review on the cast.
Yes. All right. The title of this review is called Internet Explorer User, and it is by at V11111111111111. Okay.
Did you count those correctly?
I did. I think I did.
Wow.
I hope so.
Good
It was
job.
kind of hard to keep track, but okay. So here we go. Hello, KBMOD. I have been using Internet Explorer for years, and I was wondering if since Windows 8 came out last week, but it has an L at the end of it. I think it's a misspelling. Should change my browser. Last week's podcast, episode 53, was great. Keep up the great work.
Now, did any of you go back to episode 53 and see if there was like some really deep joke to this that involves episode 53?
I didn't do the background.
Because
so
I'm
maybe we
curious.
Yeah. Maybe we should dig here. So yeah, just wow, there's a lot to digest here. I feel like this user is definitely stuck in the past a little bit, considering we are on episode 227. Though there is a possibility that this review was left way back in the day and has just somehow been released by the iTunes servers.
I mean,
It's like one of those text messages that just doesn't send for a few days, and then someone finally gets it. And it's like, oh, I got invited to a party, but it's already over. Well, that feels really shitty. And this was years ago that this review was sent in.
I mean,
it is possible that I don't know. Listen. If there's one thing that I have learned over the course of doing this podcast, it is that there is no explaining how iTunes works in any fashion. Nope. So it is entirely possible that this review was left back when it was current, and it is just now getting through whatever iTunes spam filter or review team had to look at this. I don't know, but I do know that 100% this review was posted within the past week to our page.
So I looked up episode 53, and in the tags there is Windows 8. So it was like a part of
Yeah.
it.
So that
Okay.
episode of the podcast came out on August 12th of 2012, and then the release date of Windows 8 was in that October of that year.
so
it was only a few
is-
months after.
This is yeah. So you're right. I think he's definitely. I mean, the Windows 8 makes sense. I mean, and now it's also possible, like we're saying, even though this was posted this week, what if this is like a time capsule that has been opened by wow,
But here's the plot twist though. His name, I believe, is a reference to your difficulty in properly pronouncing my Twitter handle.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I don't know if this is some sort of time traveler.
This is such a great.
He might be a time traveler. You're absolutely right. Oh my goodness.
I
Yeah,
don't
because
know
that's
what is
totally
real
a
anymore.
reference. Yeah, this is actually blowing my mind. I don't know if I'll actually copy and put his name into the chat for people to actually, I'm going to give more homework. Let's look into if we can figure out who this potential time traveler might be. If it's any of you, feel free to speak or send us an email. I would love, if he is a time traveler, he should be able to, if he's jumping between times, send us a little update email with what's going on. He might be a looper.
I'm worried for him because if this was legitimately left back when Windows 8 came out, he's been floating aimlessly, wondering whether or not he can continue using Internet Explorer, if he should change his browser. And so I feel bad if it somehow didn't get to us until now. He's been sitting around for what, over like 3 years?
Yeah. Just unable to not have this question answered. Yeah. Wow, 4 years. That's scary.
Yeah,
doing this a while.
Just think about that. You guys have been doing this podcast for that fucking long.
Wow. Yeah. When you put that into perspective, whew,
All the
man,
memories.
we are getting old. All right. Well, thank you for that review.
Thank you for listening to the cast 4 years ago.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
And if you are the time traveler that all of us think you are, again, would love to hear some follow up in maybe in a longer form email.
We'd love to hear from you next week'll.
Yes, next week. Exactly. As he said.
If you're still alive, get back to us.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it for episode 227 of the KBMOD podcast. It was a fun one. Sham, again, thank you for joining. It's always a pleasure having your opinion and your sultry voice on the cast. And we will be back next week with episode 228. You can follow KBMOD Gaming at KBMOD Gaming on Twitter, to obviously KBMOD.com. Check out the website. There's hardware stuff on there. There's build guides. There's occasional game reviews. Did I do that okay, Brad? Was there anything else that you would want me to say about the website?
Multi-stream on there.
Multi-stream, of course. Definitely use that. Do not use the other weaker services. Multi-stream is the premier one. I won't name names, but use multi-stream. You can follow Brad at Hutchison15. You can follow Sham, on Twitter at Hutchison15. Sham is at AllShamNoWow. I am at APL Fisher. And Volition is at V1111111111. No, it is a Volition with... Oh, God. Brandon, why don't you just do it? Because I'll screw it up again. How can they follow you?
It's at VOL1TION.
There you go.
That's
you can't miss it. Also, just look up how to ski. And I think his social media is in the description of that video. You will find him there.
You will find me.
So, all right, guys. Again, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Farewell.
Yeah.